This video contains subject... Oops. This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on, everybody? Freakazoids. All right, thank you to well, one of them disappeared, but Patricia Cross and Christy Babs, welcome to the channel, and thank you to Teresa Ann for upgrading to Megazoid. You know, what's funny is if everybody was Megazoids, I would hardly have to try to raise any funds at all through super chats or anything. If every single person was a Megazoid, you know, it'd be like we would just have this awesome base every single month. But yeah, a little bit later show tonight. I used to do shows starting at 9. So you guys are, this is still way earlier than it used to be. I just got done talking to Steph May a few minutes ago. She's really coughing a lot on the phone, but she seems, you know, her same witty, sharp self. They had to, you know, suction some fluid out of the one lung that has pneumonia. She's on antibiotics and stuff like that. So she said she's watching. Are you out there, Steph May? Come on, type something in. You know, go ahead and type something. Let's see the thumbs. Say something. Hey, freaks! If you can't, then don't do it. But I know she's out there, and apparently, like, her whole family has COVID because they were all taking care of her mom. I mean, it just turned out it's just a nightmare. She's just been going through such a crappy time. I'm just gonna have to buy her like a spa day, like a week, really. I mean, like a spa week, just sitting in there doing absolutely nothing. Have people waving palm fronds at you. You know, just you sit there and you're doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, Steph May is she's really cool. She does a lot of stuff on the side for me that you guys don't know. Hey, there you go. Look at that. Thank you, freaks. Love all of you. There you go. There she is. Awesome. And sorry for the drama post earlier today by another, psycho YouTuber, but it's always good to put that out there in public, just in case, right? And it's also now public knowledge, and it's not, because I have never threatened anybody with physical violence or anything like that. And I never even threatened, just to let you know, the incident that he's upset about was, he was making a video trashing me. I wasn't even talking to him at all. He just, out of nowhere, he's over there bashing me. So I showed up and I said, he's hiding behind a skeleton mask, and I said, I know what you look like. I know what your name is. And then he said, oh my God, Gray's threatening to dox my family. And I'm like, what is that? What does that have to do with anything? And that's what he tells everybody to get the sympathy card going. And then he said on there that he said that I was racist and that I was misogynistic, against women, hates women and everything. And he just says those things there's nothing. I'm not like that at all, okay? It's really crazy. The entire channel is made up of women. There's some women that are, for lack of a better term, that are assholes to me, and then I'm an asshole back on the show. But it doesn't mean they're just like if they were a guy. I treat people exactly the same, no matter what gender they are. And except for, like, if I'm opening up a door, you know, I'm not gonna take a guy, go out for beers with a guy and buy his all of his drinks for him. If I took a date, I would do that. You get what I'm saying, right? Right. It's unbelievable. People are and racist. Really? Wow, that's crazy. Let's see. My wife's Filipino. My first girlfriend was black. And I've dated many different races out there. I really don't care what race somebody is at all. I don't give a two shits. Okay? So you always just kind of wonder, like, where these people come up with this stuff. Is it just sort of like the word of the day or whatever? So anyways, I sent him an email. I said, listen, asshole, I haven't done a damn, I went on and said what I, just my regular stuff. You can see it on his video. And then he wrote back this huge thing, how he's going to go to CrimeCon and smear shit in my face. I mean, what kind of a psycho even thinks of something like that? How about, what's even weirder? It's like, how did you gather the poop? Okay, are you going to sit on the toilet and, like, reach your hand under there and sort of grab it from yourself and put it in a bag? Wow. You might want to check yourself into a mental facility at that point. Yeah. Anyways, you got to ask yourself those kind of questions. It's like, how was he going to collect it? Yeah. All right. So, anyways, that's the update on that one. See, these guys are all part of the same crew, so it's like, whose turn is it today kind of thing. Me and Graz worked things out. He's been cool behind the scenes and everything at this point. Okay, so we're all good. I just want to be able to move on and do my own shit. Yeah, so let's see. Steph May said, never been so sick. COVID, pneumonia, upper respiratory infection, IV, antibiotics, oxygen, suction, break, I can bust out soon. Yeah, well, apparently if the antibiotics kick in and she gets rid of the pneumonia in the one lung, she can get the hell out of there. Yeah, I am too, Jen H. That's why I've sent it on to the cyber crimes units out there. It's crazy times, crazy times. Hey, wow, thank you, Amy Rastad. There you go. That's a good way to get the show started. Yeah, excellent. Wow, thank you very much. I don't know if it's going to have the sound effects. Maybe I can turn it on just in time. I doubt it, but... Double cat eye. Thank you. I'm over people. Yeah, it's just it's ridiculous. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know why this is going on. It's so bizarre. And there are 5 at one point. You can ask Zozo up there. She had 5 accounts. She found 5 that actually have my exact image and everything. And here, let me show you something. Hold on one second. And they look like they were me. So it's actually that Godsey jackass, right? What he does, he goes around and he pretends that he's other people and he stirs up controversy. So I don't know if there's times where people thought it was me somewhere. I don't know, but let me show you something here. Watch this. It's crazy. So if you saw this show up on your... hold on a second, right here. Doesn't that look like me? Grant Hughes Investigates with my image right there. Looks just like me, right? But there's only one video in here. See that? This isn't me. So somebody has, this account, 10 subscribers, probably all of his other ones. And they go around and they go up to chat rooms and they say various things and everything. And, I mean, this is me in the thumbnail here. And that's my name. Right, so I report them, and it takes them weeks to finally come around and get rid of these accounts, but they're out there doing their damage. So this happens a lot to people. There's some psychos out there. Hey, thanks, Lane S. It's crazy. So that's one, and there's another one out there. This one, where it's they're doing me again, but they have a different image up there, but you know it's related, it's me, because it's Delphi murders finding Osama. You know, it's just really stupid shit. But again, my name is at the top. This isn't me here, so he might be able to scoot by. I think that's actually like Greeno in that image there. So it's just all right. So just letting you know, sometimes it is me communicating, and sometimes it isn't. I don't always say nice things out there myself when I'm being attacked, but I never threaten anybody with physical violence or anything. I might, though, however, say, "You're an idiot." Let's see. Well, I heard, how are the coughing? How's the coughing going, Steph May? Because when I was talking to you, you were coughing endlessly. It was just like continual coughing. I can't imagine how I hate that shit. So hopefully they gave you something so you can quit coughing. I do have this throwback Thursday Christmas message from Grady Judd here. It's pretty funny. It's another one of his just perfect stories. Did you hear what I said? Some of it, they just think you're so mean. Yeah. A lot of people think I'm so mean because they heard somebody else say that I'm mean, so they just say that I'm mean. They don't know if I am or not. They have never watched my show. Yeah, sometimes they really, actually, truly are just an idiot, so you gotta say it. Yeah. All right, where are we at? I want to see what Steph's made, unless she fell asleep. I want to see if she's not coughing as much now. And does the suction actually work pretty well? Who cares if I'm a little mean? That's just how I am. If you don't like it, don't watch the damn show. But for God's sakes, don't call up with some lunatic, well, I think it's Illuminati and the Freemasons. Great. Top, but myself, it was an accident. It helps, yes, just very. Yeah, I hate stuff like that. It sucks because you're awake. You know, usually they put those tubes down there when you're asleep, right? Like for surgery or something like that. Yeah, they get a lot of gunk out of there when they do that stuff, May. Not to get too graphic, but I mean, do you get to see how much they took out? Before, after suction cough. Before or after? Yeah, after. Through my nose. Yes, gross, gunky stuff. Okay. All right. But after they do the suction, you don't cough quite as much, right? No, I don't think your date changes. I think if you upgrade, you're still the same, in the same place. Now she's got a pneumonia in one lung, I guess. That's what she said earlier. Or her brother told me that. I had a sinus infection once. Oh man, those are brutal. You just tap your forehead and you pass out almost. So much pain. Okay, not as bad. Okay. Well, don't they have something for that? I mean, where you can just not cough? Yeah. Well, anyways, everybody put out some prayer hands for Steph May out there. And don't forget Jen H, too, going through some medical stuff on her own there. So, got two freaks going through some problems. And I guess even Notorious Nance, she said that too. Okay. All right. So she's gonna watch until she falls asleep. So we're gonna do the show and have her fall asleep. You kind of wish that Grady Judd would just sing a lullaby right here, but I don't think he does. All right, so here, let's play this.
we're going to do in 2021. It's just before Christmas. Sheriff Grady Judd here. Well, it's Throwback Thursday, and it's the last Throwback Thursday we're going to do in 2021. It's just before Christmas. So I thought we'd talk about the night Dillard Hamilton stole the baby Jesus. Did you hear what I said? Dillard Hamilton stole the baby Jesus. Well, here's how it happened. I was coming back from the sheriff's office Christmas party, sober as a judge, or at least sober as Grady Judd, in my own personal vehicle with my wonderful wife. And as we came up to the intersection on Highway 98 South, and then it was called the AZ Park Road, what did I see but a car beside the manger scene? And I saw a guy out at the manger scene, and all of a sudden I saw him reach into the manger, did you hear me? And take the baby Jesus. He jumped into the car and off they went. Well, we were in our personal vehicle. This is way back in the day. There were no cell phones. There were no walkie-talkie radios. There were no pagers. We had to find, guess what? A payphone. So anyway, we chased the car. It went into a subdivision. We cornered up the car and I got out and I said, Deputy Sheriff Grady Judd, you're under arrest. Where's the baby Jesus? And I recovered the baby Jesus. Okay, now I've got the baby Jesus and I've got Dillard Hamilton under arrest. I'm not going to put him in my car. So I told my wife, go call the sheriff's office. She says, I'm going to leave you here with Dillard Hamilton? I said, well, the baby Jesus is watching out for me. And beside that, I got a gun. And I'll shoot Dillard Hamilton slap full of holes if he tries to hurt me right in front of the baby Jesus. So she takes off, and in a few minutes, I look up. I got Lakeland police officers. I got other deputies. Everybody came to see that I rescued the baby Jesus. It was a Christmas I'll not soon forget. See y'all later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Grady Judd. He's awesome. Yeah, we've donated the channel so far $750 to the Polk County Sheriff's Charity Fund there. So gotta love Grady Judd, right? I mean, he's probably he's one of our country's gems, you know. That's just the reality of it. Okay. And let's see. Let me get to trying to figure out where to, you know, what I'll do first is you guys remember Starkey Swenson? Does that ring a bell to anybody? Remember he was the sort of like player that was like, I don't know, 70 years old or something like that. And remember how, I don't remember all the details exactly, but he was dating some other woman that was actually somebody that he had known before, but then that lady married somebody else, and then he got married to somebody. Then later on, he was cheating on his wife again with that other lady. Yeah, like I think, I don't know if it was Susan Eggert, but you guys remember that one, right? It was, I mean, some of you probably don't remember it all. But let me see if I can find an article that might go through it a little bit. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, let me just go. There's 1984. So there was a guy, he went missing after he was kind of like a player, you know, but he was old. It's weird, you know, he was tan and he's like, I mean, here's the guy right here. You know, Starkey Swenson. 11 months ago today, Starkey Swenson got on his bicycle and rode off into the evening from his home at 234 Lakeshore Avenue. And you can't see the screen, but hold on. The passage of time and the unyielding police investigation into Swenson's disappearance have taken their toll on Lois Swenson and her 4 daughters, and how it is time to finalize it and get on with our lives, says the woman who has been married to Swenson for 44 years. So the missing man's family and close friends will gather Monday at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, where the Swensons worship, for a memorial service for all intents. In our hearts, we know he's dead, says Lois Swenson, explaining why they have scheduled the service. This is our way of recognizing that, of saying we have to do some finalizing now. For 11 months, this has gone on and on, the waiting and hoping, she continues. I still watch every car that goes by the house. See, I think he got on his bicycle. So there's this other lady that he had an affair with in another country while he was married to Lois here. And then they didn't keep dating. And then she actually married this other guy. And they were married for just a really short amount of time. And then she started seeing Starkey again, unbeknownst to her wife, his wife, I mean. So then, then that other guy found out about it, apparently, and killed him. He actually got convicted of murder without a body in 1983. So, let's see. I think I'm going to go to the next page here. I'm just trying to see if this has all the information in it. Part of the awkwardness is directly attributed to the family's silence in the matter, Lois admits. We have wanted to say things to quell the misinformation and rumors, but the authorities have asked us to remain silent. We are all bothered by that. It hurts, Lois continues, because as far as we are concerned, there is definite evidence of foul play, and we are convinced he is dead. I guess it was the family. I would say that too, said Lieutenant Eugene Bricko. This case has many suspicious circumstances, but nothing has ever been proven at Doro. In every lead we have checked, every rumor or piece of information, we have never found anything that could be tied to this investigation. Beyond that, says Bricko and Doro, let's see. He asked us not to say anything. It's not rumors. I'm just kind of randomly looking through these old articles here, not let me see if this is it right here. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's the one right there. So this is the love triangle turned deadly. See, this is the guy, John Andrews, and it explains everything right here. So, man charged for 1983 murder of ex-wife. This was actually 93, not that. The murder was 83. He was charged in 93, so 10 years later. Police said time worked in their favor in solving the 10-year-old mystery surrounding the disappearance of Starkey L. Swenson. A 54-year-old Nina man, John C. Andrews, was charged Friday with intentional murdering Swenson in 1983 because of Swenson's affair with Andrews' ex-wife. Right. Authorities filed against Andrew a 28-page criminal complaint that reads like a paperback novel. This is a case that involves passion, violence, intimidation, and fear, said Nina Police Chief DJ Forsey. Swenson disappeared August 13, 1983 at the age of 67. He was last seen riding his red bicycle away from his home following a family picnic. Although his body was never found, he was legally declared dead in 1990. It just goes on and on. I don't want to go through this whole thing again because we've already gone through it, but let's see. So, divorced wife in England before marrying Claire. And then it's like dating at the time of Swenson's disappearance. He was dating Suzanne Eggert. And let's see. So, divorced wife in England. Andrews met in. It's so complicated, but he was married. He was dating this lady named Suzanne Eggert. I think it was in England. And while he was married, if I remember correctly. Oh, there. Let's see. Andrews told police that she began an affair with Starkey Swenson in 1976 while he was still married to Robert Maskell. So she was married to somebody named Robert Maskell. She continued the affair while married to her second husband, John C. Andrews, this guy right here. So twice she cheated on her husbands with Starkey. So this lady, Miss Andrews, was married to two different guys, and during both of those marriages, she was cheating on those husbands with Starkey. She continued the affair while married to her second husband, John C. Andrews, and after their subsequent divorce. So then they got divorced, this guy right here, and this lady with the last name of Andrews, they got divorced. Swenson would frequently ride his bicycle to Andrews' home. So this Starkey guy would go over to her house on a bicycle and park in the driveway garage. So he would go over there and visit, but on this occasion, he never made it to her house on the bike and was murdered by this guy, and they had never found his body. And then when we did the show in September, I think they found bones in a park. All right, so then, let's see, today, what the hell, where did that go, by the way? There we go. So here we go. This is today. This came out, or yesterday. So listen to this.
Authorities confirmed the identity of human remains found in September at High Cliff State Park. They say they belong to a man related to a decades-old cold case in Winnebago County.
Balanced news and severe weather coverage. This is Fox 11 News at 5.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Fox 11 recently brought to you an exclusive story about the human remains which were found at High Cliff State Park. They were believed to be those of Starkey Swenson by his family. Today, the Calumet County Sheriff's Office confirmed that identification.
Swenson was a Neenah man murdered in August of 1983. Fox 11's Monique Lopez spoke with the UW professor who recovered the remains, as well as the Calumet County District Attorney in this Fox 11 follow-up.
Despite great efforts, the body of 67-year-old Starkey Swenson of Neenah had never been found until now.
It's super rare. I mean, when a case goes cold like that for this long, the fact that, we were able to find him and identify him, I think it's just, it's very unlikely.
UWO professor of anthropology Jordan Karsten and his students devoted a lot of time trying to help locate Swenson, who went missing in 1983, but to no avail, even after several digs in Omro that began in April. Unbeknownst to Karsten, that would change in September when two hikers found the remains here at High Cliff State Park. Ironically, it would also be Karsten who would be called out to recover what we now know to be Swenson's remains.
At that point, we found that the remains were associated with modern clothes, and I thought to myself, older male, modern clothes. Hey, is there a chance that this could be Starkey Swenson? And I kind of had that, eating at the back of my head the whole time, but because we've been searching for him all year, I didn't, even when we were doing the recovery, I didn't think that there was likely a great chance that it was going to be him.
Less than 2 months after the remains were found, Swenson's grandson told us they were 100% certain the remains were those of Starkey Swenson. He says he was alerted to the fact by law enforcement based on personal articles recovered with the remains. Those personal effects, according to Swenson's grandson, include keys with a keychain known to be Swenson's, a wedding ring match, pants that match the description, a healed broken ankle which Swenson had previously injured, size, sex, age, and dental work.
The fact that the Swensons can get this closure ahead of the holidays is just the greatest thing ever.
So they finally found his body.
This may not be the end of the story, though. You see, despite there not being a body at the time, John Andrews was convicted of the August 1983 murder. Authorities believe Swenson was having an affair with Andrews' ex-wife and was murdered in what has been described as a love triangle in Neenah. Andrews served his time, but now, with the High Cliff remains confirmed to be Swenson, it's up to the Calumet County District Attorney to determine if other charges will be filed. filed.
At this point, I'm looking at all the reports, reviewing whether or not there is any potential viable charges that remain to this day now that Mr. Swenson's body has been found and his identity's been confirmed.
Swenson's family told Fox 11 they don't wish to see additional charges brought forth and just wanted to finally bring Swenson home.
The victim includes, under the law, their extended family that remain. And so their thoughts and considerations will absolutely be taken into account when determining what would be the next step if there is another next step.
Andrew's attorney at the time told us last month that he believes Andrews wouldn't face any additional charges as too much time has passed. In Calumet County, Monique Lopez, Fox 11 News.
New at
That's pretty amazing. They actually found his body. I mean, it could have been never found, but pretty crazy. And so that was just the update on that one. But we are now getting to we've got 7 more days until we have our final donation night. And like we always do on this channel, every single night we've got to raise funds so that at the end of the month, and it helps my channel out, obviously. We've said that a million times. And at the end of the month we donate a huge amount, and so far we're at $41,750. And I'm going to try to get to 40, well, hell, it could be like 44,750. Like I want to do another 3,000 or so at the end of the month. So if anybody can afford to help out the channel with super chats or channel memberships, that'd be awesome. So let's see, like they kill you and steal your bike. Like here in England, they kill you and steal your bike. Really? Yeah, people a lot of times will kill for just about anything. They just don't really have a reason. Yeah, I mean, human life doesn't mean shit to a lot of people. But it was also kind of an interesting, hey, thanks Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe, the cattle mutilations and crop circles. Dan Carr, after the show, he sent me the Unsolved Mystery episode on YouTube of the case of Rhonda Hinson. And so I was, and then he also told me about this. In the comment section, there's a website out there called the Wilkes Record.
Ocean Wave.
So it's like Wilkes
Flying
County
Saucer.
Record.
Alien. Cow.
Yeah, so it's called the Wilkes Record, but they're missing this guy, incredible writer named Jerry. Hold on, I don't think that's his name. His name is Larry Griffin. I actually called over there and I spoke to the editor named Jerry Langford. And we talked for 20 minutes or so. Thanks, Eugenie. You're crushing Chloe and Blue's face. Thank you, Sarita. And I talked to him for 20 minutes and it was really cool. It was amazing. Hey, thank you very much, Beholder. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Merry Christmas. Eugenie, Sarita, and Beholder. Wait a minute. Where's the vomit face? I've missed the vomit face. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, I talked to the editor for 20 minutes, and then he gave me the phone number for the writer named Larry Griffin, and he wrote 100. I don't even know. 90 something articles on the case, and they're really incredible research that he was doing, because he lived there. He was able to talk to everybody. I mean, the girlfriend of the victim, Rhonda, like her best friend, basically, and different people. He had the autopsy report. I mean, he has everything. So I'd kind of like to, go over it over time or something, and maybe even get him on. If I can get him on as a guest, we might not have to do that, but it'd be cool to know more about it. This is the case where the bullet went through the trunk and then hit Rhonda went through her heart, but it hit her in the back and then through the heart, right? And it was weird because when I was talking to the editor, he knew a lot about the case too. He could just talk on and on and on about it. I mean, he really knew. It was awesome. And he said that the car was actually stationary when the shot came in. Thank you, Philly and Tina Susser. And Beholder, there's the vomit face. Thank you. I got my vomit face. That's all I cared about. As long as I get that vomit face. Yeah, so it was really interesting. I'm hoping that the author, Larry Griffin, I think he might even be writing a book or something, but it's unbelievable. There's a Facebook page called Remembering Rhonda Hinson, and you can just scroll, and it just keeps scrolling down, and apparently, okay, so here's what happened. He wrote 90 or so articles. Thanks, your gypsy. You're crushing Blue in the head. Look at that. Will he get up from that? What was I going to say? Ah, shit. Can't remember. It was interesting, though. Whatever it was. Let's see if I can remember. Hold on. God, I hate that. It was... Yeah, like 89 articles, whatever it is. I don't really give a shit what the actual number is. 89 is what Dan's saying. But he wrote a ton of them, and then they had them online on a website. They're on a website, and they changed websites, and whatever happened, they lost the first 42 or so articles. But fortunately, the writer has the Facebook page, and he put those 40-something in there way down below somewhere. They're not named the same, so it's hard. It would be cool if he called them the same thing, like something number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I can't remember how he was wording it, but that would have been good. Yeah, but that's what I was with Dan. Was the articles was what reminded me of what I wanted to say. So it sucked that they lost them all, but he still had them. What are you guys doing? Chloe? Look, you know what? She's looking the other way. Like, I'm actually the other direction. Yeah, so I have a few of them right here. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to go over, and I have the Unsolved Mystery episode here. I thought we'd just kind of skip around in it, do the fair use angle of it. Like here's an image of the party she went. It's not really the party, it was a reenactment. But, she's at a party, and, then she leaves the party with her friend and then drops off her friend. And then what's weird is in the morning time, her mom, she says, watch. Now it's Unsolved Mysteries.
At exactly 1 a.m., Rhonda's mother awoke from a sound sleep with a strange premonition.
So her mother actually woke up. Now we get this paranormal aspect of it, where the mother woke up at 1 a.m. Yeah, like the person at the car might have went over to check on her, opened the door, and she sort of fell out, right? That's definitely possible. Because if the car was at an angle like they're showing right there, that might have been what happened.
Eight years have passed since that Christmas party ended in tragedy.
Yep. This is kind of creepy, this part. Yeah. Something's really kind of... I don't know if they did that on purpose, but...
can almost imagine Rhonda's still in there. We have a baby doll that she had years and years ago. We've kept that out.
That's spooky.
We've kept some of her trophies out. The grave marker, I think, says it all. On the grave marker, there are the words, "Always a ray of sunshine." That's the best description that we have of Rhonda. It's a perfect description.
Crazy, huh? Wow. So let me go to some of these writings. All right. What do we got here? Remembering. So the website is Remembering Rhonda Hinson. That's on Facebook. Let's just read some of these. So this is one of them on the Wilkes record. These are all written by Larry Griffin, Special Investigative Reporter, the Wilkes record. And I guess they used to be a newspaper. This is what Jerry told me, Jerry Langford. He said that they used to be a newspaper, physical newspaper, but during COVID they went online. And that's how they ended up, they transferred to a better company. And it got, they lost those first 42 or so. So you see how it says right here, installment 90, right there? There's like an 89, 88, 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, and it goes to 43 on this site. They don't have the other, that's like half. I mean, that's pretty crazy, but the author has them, and he's put them on that Facebook page. Let's see. So let's go over this one here. Okay. Rhonda told me that Mr. Charles McDowell, Greg's father, got too close, was too familiar with her, and she was uncomfortable being around him. Rhonda said that if she sat next to him when she went out to eat with the family, he would reach under the table and place his hand on her knee or leg. Oh, Jesus. See, that's not good right there. I mean, could you imagine how creepy that would be? Imagine you go out with your boyfriend to dinner, and the boyfriend's father, under the table, puts his hand on your... What would you do? I mean, you would just be, like, absolutely mortified at that point, right? It was on Saturday, January 26, 2019, that Jill Turner Mull, Rhonda Hinson's best friend, was first interviewed by the writer at a Starbucks in Statesville. Near the beginning of the conversation, Jill recollected the last time that she saw her best friend. As it happened, it was 40 years ago on Friday, November 26th in 1981. Jill was home in Valdez during her Thanksgiving break from Western Carolina. She and Rhonda decided to meet for lunch at the Pizza Hut located off Highway 70 in Hickory. There are two things that I remember well about that lunch date. Mrs. Turner Mull, Mull Avard. Mulliver. I don't even know if that's her last name. Or is it? No, it's Mill Avard. All right, so we got... and this is her best friend. Rhonda told me that she finished all the Christmas shopping. That was unheard of. She generally waited till the last minute, but she was very proud of that fact, that she got all of her Christmas shopping done early. So then Judy Hinson, Rhonda's mother, corroborated Jill's story. Yes, Rhonda always waited to the last minute to do most things, Christmas shopping included, but for some reason, she got it done very early. She was absolutely proud of herself for doing so. The second revelation of that midday repast was less auspicious. She told me about a recent time when she and Greg were outside at his house playing basketball. So that's her boyfriend. They were playing basketball. When they stopped and went inside, Greg told Rhonda, she told me about a recent time when she and Greg were outside at his house playing basketball. When they stopped playing and went inside, Greg told Rhonda that he was going to take a shower. Well, while he was in the shower, she walked into the kitchen and opened the refrigerator to get some ice from the ice maker. Lo and behold, there was a head sitting in the... I'm just kidding. Do you guys... I want to make sure you guys are listening. Get some ice from the ice maker. Suddenly, she felt two arms wrap around her. She turned around, fully expecting to see Greg. Instead, it was Charles McDowell. Oof. You can imagine that Rhonda was so embarrassed and told McDowell that he was to never do anything like that again. That's crazy, right? Curiously, Rhonda never mentioned any of Charles McDowell's inappropriate advances to either of her parents, though she did mention to her mother that she was never going back to Greg's house unless he was home. And that's probably what ended their... I bet you that ended their relationship. She didn't want anything to do with that. Let's see. She offered no explanation for asseveration, but over the years, both Bobby, Rhonda's father, and Judy Hinson... let's see. Never going to there again. Oh yeah. But over the years, both Bobby, Rhonda's father, and Judy Hinson have come to believe that it was her intent to broach the subject with her father on the Saturday, that's probably what she meant, before she was killed, when she asked him to take an enigmatic ride in her Datsun 210 to purchase gasoline, a rather perplexing departure from her typical behavior. So her dad was like, why do you need to go with me to go get gas? So she wanted to tell him about these advancements that had been happening. Dad, I need to tell you something, she said. She said as we were driving, Bobby Hinson vividly recalled, but I'm afraid that it will make you mad. So why would he be mad? Well, not at her, though. She never did tell me what it was. See, if I was a father and my child said, I need to tell you something, I wouldn't let them not tell me. You get what I'm saying? It's not like you go, okay, well, just tell me when you're ready. No, hell no, man. You don't get to have your, I need to tell you something, but I'm afraid it'll make you mad. You go, listen, nothing you can, you can't let a kid not tell you something like that. You got to keep at them until they finally break down and tell you what the answer is. You know? And that might have changed everything, but instead it's like, really? You just kind of let that go? I don't know, man. I don't even call that being back, quarterback, Monday morning quarterbacking. I think that's just the reality of it. I mean, put a 1. If your daughter told you something like that, would you let them then go, well, I don't want to tell you, and just go, okay, cool. Hey, what are you doing late? Would any of you do that? Put a 1 if you would do that. There's no way in hell you guys would do that. I guarantee it. So that I'm not trying to be like I'm bashing somebody. I'm just trying to tell you that just seems so odd to me. I'm not even saying he has anything to do with anything. I'm just saying, how did you possibly let her not tell you something that was obviously really important, where she even wanted to give you a ride to get gas when that normally she'd never do that? However, in September, subsequent to their grandfather's South Carolina funeral and just a few weeks before she was killed, Rhonda told her first cousin, Dr. Christy Harden, about Pastor McDowell's unsolicited overtures toward her. She even indicated to her cousin that she had grown to dislike the minister and was afraid of him. I mean, what a sicko, man. Jeez. And you know what? What if the minister shot her? Because now he didn't want her to tell people what he was doing. And maybe the minister and the son were the ones in the car because they both wanted her. She left me. Oh, wait, here's the thing. As long as she was dating the son, she likely wasn't going to say anything about him. But the moment she broke up with him, now the pastor is freaking out because she's now going to tell everybody, right? And then the boyfriend's angry too, and then they get this conversation. So wouldn't that be crazy if this was what happened? Do you see that angle right there? Dr. Hardin recollected that she told me that Mr. McDowell, Greg's father, got too close, was too familiar with her, and she was uncomfortable being around him. Rhonda said that if she sat next to him when she went out to eat with the family, he would reach under the table and place his hand on her knee or leg, so she tried not to sit near him when they were out anywhere. She said once she went into the bathroom located down a hallway in the McDowell parsonage. He uses a lot of words that I never use in my life at all, right? When she opened the door, Charles McDowell was standing outside as if waiting for her to come out. Wow. It was Rhonda's unmistakable perception that Greg's dad intentionally closed the distance between them in order to rub up against her as she exited the bathroom. She told me that she refused to be in the house alone with him, didn't want to even be around him, was in fact afraid of him. So I wonder, does the married man comment to the mom have something to do? I don't know what that would have been about. As Dr. Christina Hardin watched the Hinsons depart for home upon the conclusion of their familial funeral events of the waning summer of 1981, she did not realize that she had waved goodbye to her cousin for the final time, Rhonda Hinson, at that juncture at approximately 12 weeks to live. But the question lingers as to whether those unwanted advances evolved into actual molestation and rape. Rhonda's behavior prior to... Oh, that's interesting, because remember she was taking the showers right before the murders? I mean, right before the murder. And wouldn't that be interesting if that's why? So he finally got her and raped her, and that's what made it even worse, because he could always say, oh, I was just, the other things he could sell and get away with. Oh, I didn't mean to. I was just hugging her. She's one of my, parishioners, or whatever the hell the term is. The people that, what do you call the people that are in the church? I forgot. Anyways, but then when the rape happened, he had no way out. So now, especially since he, the boyfriend, they broke up. She broke up with the boyfriend probably because of the rape. Now the dad has to take her out, I would think. I don't know. Oh, flock. I was kind of wondering if that was the word, but I wasn't sure what to say. Partitioners? But frequently, Rhonda could be found in the early morning sleeping in the floor at the foot. Okay, let me see. But the question lingers as to whether those unwanted advances evolved into actual molestation and rape. Rhonda's behavior prior to her murder suggested they did. For Bobby and Judy Hinson, remember all the showers, right? The precipitous alterations in her usual behavior were troubling. Their otherwise ebullient daughter had begun to change, and they didn't understand why. Frequently, Rhonda could be found in the early morning sleeping in the floor at the foot of her parents' bed. Wow. In fact, at one point, she asked her brother Robbie if she could sleep in his room, even offered to pay him. Yeah, it's almost, I think that, God, man, that almost seems exactly like what happened. For the inconvenient concession. More than once, Bobby heard her call out to him from her bedroom window overlooking the front yard and Hillcrest Street. Hillcrest Street? Where's that? Oh, we already have her address. We don't need that. That's right. I've already got it. I just remembered it was in one of those articles. So that's probably, there it is, Hillcrest right there. So, so basically what they just said. Yeah, that was the house. The front yard. So Bobby heard her call out to him from her bedroom window overlooking the front yard and Hillcrest Street as she was leaving for a 2 a.m. shift at Waldensian Bakery in Valdez. Far more perplexing was Rhonda's recent insistence that she was taking late night or early morning showers because, as she explained to Mother Judy, she somehow felt dirty. See. Ablutions of that nature are often characteristic of those who have been raped or sexually assaulted in some way. Victims report that they feel dirty and may take frequent showers in an effort to feel clean. Her sudden impulse to bathe currently recommends to suspicion that Rhonda was sexually assaulted in some manner or even raped. Clearly, at least a couple investigators who at sundry times worked the Hinson case believe that the teenager was being victimized by Reverend McDowell. One such anonymous former Burke County Sheriff's Department investigator who sent a private message to the Remembering Rhonda Hinson Facebook page, interesting, in April of 2019 asserted Mr. McDowell was a suspect but was ruled out after passing polygraph test. Man, who gives a shit if you pass a polygraph test? It should be noted that according to case file records, Charles McDowell did not accede to taking a polygraph test until 1994. Do I believe he was a pervert and probably raped Rhonda? Yes, I do, but he's not the killer. That's what they're saying. Wow. It's got to have something to do with it, though. I mean, how could all these bad things happen to one person unless they're related at that time? You know what I mean? Perhaps more insightful was an earlier asseveration. Man, I never use that. Have you guys ever use that word in a sentence? I do, Gray. Okay. Proffered in 1987 by then Burke County Sheriff Department Detective Lee Turner. In a conversation with an anonymous informant who later recounted the incident during an interview with the Wilkes Record, Detective Turner maintained that the 19-year-old was the victim of sexual assault perpetrated by Charles McDowell. The informant recalled that. He, Lee Turner, either said, "We know she was being raped," or "We know Rhonda was being raped." He was adamant. I wish I could remember how we got into that conversation, probably me asking questions, but I promise everything I have told you is the truth, even if he, Turner, doesn't recall it or denies it. In installment, I'm not sure what number that is, something L1, I don't know what that is. What number is L1X? Is that 50 or like 49 maybe? Something like that? There's an L50. I can't remember now. It's been so long since I ever gave a damn about the Roman numeral. So maybe that's 49, I guess. The Killing of Rhonda Hinson series. This writer concluded, relative to the compromised minister, that at the most Reverend McDowell appears to have been adept at dichotomizing the professional ethics of his pastoral calling and the periodic prurient practices of his personal life, or at least able to somehow reconcile the two in his own mind. It is understandable why some investigators who had uncovered details of the Reverend's sundry indiscretions concluded that he was responsible for perpetrating the alleged sexual assault against Miss Hinson. Characteristically, according to Judy Hinson, Rhonda kept most of the injurious details of the relationship with the McDowells to herself. She knew that I really never liked Greg that much and was afraid of my reaction should she tell me anything that he did to her that I wouldn't have approved of, Miss Hinson maintained. Let's see. She knew that I really never liked Greg that much and was afraid of my reaction should she tell me anything that he did to her that I wouldn't have approved of. But then it's like, well, no, his dad did it. So she probably just wanted to get the hell out of there anyways. Okay, so it's 59. Not. I thought it was like you minus it. She would have more likely told things like that to her dad, not me. And Rhonda ostensibly only confided details of the senior McDowell's aberrant, salacious behavior to her two closest intimates, the last of which was her best friend, Jill Turner, Mole, on the 26th of November, 1981, less than a month before she was killed. Jill admitted that she experienced no prescient insight that she and her dear friend were having lunch together for the final time, though she subsequently spoke with her by phone and corresponded through letters. Jill never saw Rhonda again until the evening of Thursday, December 24th, 1981, at Kirksey's funeral home in Valdez, where she was reposed in a casket. They got that. And here's a, this guy, it's amazing. He even had the autopsy in here. Like the bullet went through right there. So it went straight through. It wasn't at an angle, obviously. I mean, it's like if you rotated that around, that's almost exactly the same distance from, maybe slight angle from the midline there. Like right there, it's saying it's 1.5 inch, and I'm not sure if that's like a fragment up there, something. I don't really want to go through the whole autopsy at this point. I'm not sure what that means, Richard. Yeah, I know. I've never used about 20 of those words I don't use ever in like daily life, Flawless reading. That wasn't flawless reading. I was like, what the hell word is this, man? Those are ones that are just, I think that's words that like the older writers use because they were probably more common. I think nowadays people just write, so it's really simple, like it makes sense to everybody. Thanks, Richard, though. Whatever the hell you're saying there, I have no idea. Yeah, but unless I'm honest, I'm going to say, man, those aren't you really used too much. I'll tell you that. Let me go to this other. So there's this whole thing on the case against Greg McDowell. Well, I guess we could go to the one about him first. This is the boyfriend right here. See, most of these people think it's the boyfriend. Thanks, B Mountains. All right. I'm scared to read this. Greg McDowell was returning from North Carolina State University. So this is the boyfriend, right? Rhonda knew that she would see him later on that day, but she was not back yet. Something else filled her mind and thinking. In 3 days, Hickory Steel. Wow, so when Greg was gone, I think this is the day, right? How did the Reverend get a hold of her? I mean, that's interesting. Like, how did that happen? If he's out of town, how did she end up being with the Reverend? I wonder if he asked her to come over to talk about something. And I don't know. Something else filled her mind and thinking. In 3 days, Hickory Steele was having a Christmas party at the Hickory American Legion hut. The upcoming company function would be her first, as she was still a relatively new employee of approximately 3 months. Remember that, how she got the job, but she didn't really want to go to this party. She kept going, I don't want to go. Well, maybe I don't want to go. And then a couple other friends would only go if she went. You know, it was pretty. But Rhonda had an ambivalent feeling about the approaching soiree. To begin with, she was facing the possibility of attending without a +1 to accompany her. The 19-year-old knew that she could not invite her boyfriend, even though he would be home from college. She told her mother as much. In her personal journal, Judy Hinson recollected her daughter's hesitancy to invite Greg. Interesting. Thank you, Vale. Yeah. At first, about a week before the party, Rhonda had not decided whether she was going to go, but she knew that if she invited Greg to go along with her, she would not have a good time, she told me. Mom, if I invite him, then every time I talk to anyone else there, he is going to be upset about it. I don't think that Rhonda really... I mean, man, imagine if Greg found out that his father raped her. How angry he'd be at everybody. I don't think that Rhonda really wanted to deal with his jealousy. I think she had gotten tired of his demanding to know everything she did, where she went, who she talked to, everything. You know, I think, it's weird. I don't know. It seems like when you're a younger person, you think more like that a little bit. You know, when you have your hormones flying around. You know, and then later in life, you just don't give a shit. You're just like, whatever. However, it was Saturday. The party was still a few days away, and if she did decide to go, Rhonda wanted a new outfit to wear. Besides, she had just received a small Christmas bonus from Hickory Steele and purposed to spend it on some new clothes. So she asked her mother to go shopping with her to purchase them. In a rather extensive journal of recollections, Judy Hinson wrote about the mother-daughter shopping excursion on Saturday, December 19th, 1981, precisely 39 years ago today. First they traveled to Morganton, nothing. Then on to Valdez, still nothing. So they decided to go to Hickory, to the new mall, Valley Hills Mall. Rhonda had just been there shopping with Mark Turner the day before. Wait, Mark Turner? Isn't that the... Wait, who's Mark Turner? Rhonda had just been shopping with Mark Turner. I can't remember now. Is that the name of the... I don't know if that's just another guy then. Rhonda tried on a number of outfits, some of which she would never purchase. Judy recalled that they laughed and talked, and her daughter bought lunch for them both. Afterwards, they decided to drive up Highway 70 to, Catawba Mall that had recently been rendered the old mall. Miss Hinson noted that each time they exited the car, Rhonda locked the doors. Notably, during the entire day, neither of them even mentioned Greg. Judy observed that her daughter was the... Mark... Wait, what was the name up there? Who's Mark Turner? I'm still trying to remember. I can't remember now. Notably, during the entire day, neither of them even mentioned Greg at all. Judy observed that her daughter was the happiest that she had seen her in a long time, even though she did not find any clothes to suit her. The two ladies left the mall at around 5 p.m. to return to Valdez. Judy told Rhonda that Judy's Rhonda's mom, right? So Judy told Rhonda that she should have called Bobby. He likely was worried about them. Is Bobby... Anybody know who Bobby is really quick? Is that the dad? Or, let's see, Robert. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's her dad, okay. Her mother, and she would handle things. Bobby, he likely was worried about them. The 19-year-old told her mother that she would handle things with her dad. Suddenly, Rhonda panicked. She thought about Greg, who was coming home from NCSU. Oh, God. If Greg is called, he will be mad. Her demeanor changed instantaneously, Judy noted. No more laughing or talking. Rhonda turned on the radio and drove in silence the rest of the way. When the two shoppers arrived home, Brother Bobby confirmed his sister's fear. Greg had been calling all day and urged her to call him because he was mad. After doing so, she retreated to the bathroom to cry. Rhonda was loath to cry in front of her parents, especially if the tears pertained to her boyfriend. Sounds like a really crappy, controlling... Yeah, I figured it out. Miss Hinson said that she followed her daughter into the bathroom to ask about the phone call, saw her daughter crying, and asked for the reason. Greg told Rhonda to be ready in 10 minutes. He was coming to pick her up to take her to a party towards Mineral Springs Mountain, a little Christmas soiree given by a man for whom McDowell had worked the previous summer, 1981. Rhonda lamented that she could not be ready by that time and decided to go to the party as she was dressed. She didn't even do her hair. So hold on. Greg told Rhonda to be ready in 10 minutes. So Greg was going to pick her up and take her to the party? He was coming to pick her up to take her to the party. And, that's totally different sounding. Rhonda lamented that she could not be ready by that time and decided to go to the party as she was dressed. She didn't even do her hair. Judy noted that when McDowell arrived, so the boyfriend, he refused to speak and was very angry, especially at her because she had accompanied her daughter to the mall and spent all day. Rhonda and Greg left for the party, but were away for less than an hour. Judy was surprised to see her daughter back so soon. When asked why they had returned so quickly, Rhonda said that Greg really didn't want to go in the first place. She told me that they ate afterwards. He told her to tell them, the host, that we had to go home. Miss Hinson wrote in her journal, I asked why he did that, and she said that Greg really didn't want to go and only did so because he was mad at her for going shopping. After McDowell returned his girlfriend to Hillcrest Street, he went home to Wilkie's Grove. Rhonda Hinson had less than 4 days to live. Okay, so that was a different party then. Okay. The photo is the East Burke yearbook. Yeah, so then I don't have that photo in here. Is this interesting for you guys? I mean, it was weird to have all this stuff that's out there on the same case that we were talking about last night. It's crazy. So I'm going to do this one. So this is one that he wrote called, Larry Griffin Again. It's called, he wrote all these. What's amazing detail he was able to get in these interviews, just unbelievable. So this is one called The Case Against Greg McDowell. So kind of want to read these. I asked Greg McDowell about his memory of the pink snake. He couldn't recall the joke about it or how they got in. So who asked Greg McDowell? Or how they got in the Myrtle Beach, but he acknowledged it stayed on his dresser at home. From the case notes to Detective James Flash Pruitt, dated Tuesday, December 23rd, 1997. So that was 15 years after, in an interview with Greg McDowell. Jill Turner Mull was visiting the Hinson home for the express purpose of examining items discovered in the Datsun 210 that her best friend Rhonda Hinson was driving the early morning of December 23rd, 1981, the morning she was killed. And then she spotted it, the stuffed pink snake that Greg McDowell won for Rhonda at the pavilion downtown Myrtle Beach, and details of a summer 1981 beach trip were retrieved from memory. Detective James Flash Pruitt recorded Jill's impression in her copious case notes dated Friday, December 29, 1995. So this happened in 81, so a long time ago. A long time before this. Jill said there was some joke behind the snake, but could not remember it. May have been some sexual connotation. The most important fact is she stated Greg McDowell had the snake in his possession. How did it get into Rhonda's car 6 months later? Detective Pruitt first noticed that a pink snake was listed among the contents found in Rhonda Hinson's Datsun 210 as inventoried by the SBI on Wednesday afternoon, December 23, 1981. However, he had not actually located the artifact in the evidence room or even seen a photo of it. I did, however, see the snake on a contact sheet with the other photographs. I will attempt to get the negatives from S.A. Subtle for enlargement, he noted in his synopsis. Almost immediately, Flash contacted Tanya Benj Featherbay and Jerry Pittman Yoder, inquiring about the stuffed serpent. Neither could remember seeing a pink snake in Rhonda Hinson's Datsun. Sherry said that the trio took turns driving to lunch each day and averred that she would have remembered a brightly, so she said, she was saying that she would have remembered a brightly colored stuffed creature in her young friend's vehicle. At that time, in 1995, the Myrtle Beach trophy was in the possession of Bobby and Judy Hinson. Okay, at that time, in 1995, the Myrtle Beach trophy was in the possession of Bobby and Judy Hinson. It was among Rhonda's personal effects that her father reclaimed from the Burke County Sheriff's Department, courtesy Sheriff Ralph Johnson, that along with the gray hooded sweat jacket that his daughter left in Mark Turner's automobile and her East Burke letter jacket, indisputably known to be in the possession of her boyfriend Greg McDowell. Detective Pruitt would subsequently reacquire the sweat jacket and the pink snake in order to return both to evidence while he was the case's lead investigator, with permission of the Hinsons, of course. About 5 days after his conversation with Miss Turner Mole, Thursday, January 4th, 1996, Detective Pruitt asked Mark Turner about the stuffed serpent. Who's Mark Turner? Really quick, does anybody know who Mark Turner is? Is that just a friend of hers, or Miss Turner Mole? I kind of lost track of who Mark Turner is. Anybody know out there? About 5 days after his conversation with Miss Turner Mole, Thursday, January 4th, 1996, Detective Pruitt asked Mark Turner about the stuffed serpent as well. Of course he had no memory of the pink snake either at the beach or at Greg's home. Yeah, and did not remember a joke about a snake. However, because that's the same guy that went shopping with Judy and Rhonda 4 days before she was murdered. However, Jill's 32-year-old former boyfriend. Oh, that's okay. Jill. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, no memory of the pink snake either at the beach or Greg's home, and did not remember a joke about a snake. However, Jill's 32-year-old, I don't even know who Jill is now. Like Jill, 32-year-old former boyfriend did provide a few details about that last beach trip that he, his girlfriend Rhonda, and Greg took together in late summer of 1981. Okay. Flash synopsized Turner's remarks. They stayed at Mark's grandfather's mobile home in the Lakewood campground at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He recalled Greg drinking Budweiser beer heavily. So Greg was drunk. Attention turned to McDowell's behavior towards Rhonda while at the beach. Mark recalled that Rhonda did not want to have sex with Greg. Greg went out on the beach and tried to pick other girls up for sex. Rhonda caught him, and an argument ensued. Mark said either Greg or Rhonda threatened to walk back home. Mark cannot recall Greg ever hitting or pushing Rhonda. They did argue quite often. 6 days shy of 2 years after he spoke with Jill Turner Mole about the stuffed pink snake, Detective Pruitt queried Greg McDowell about the 1981 beach trip trophy. On the 16th anniversary of the killing, Rhonda Hinson, Tuesday, December 23, 1997 at 1:30 p.m., Flash interviewed McDowell in his Hickory, Britain engineering office as a cloud of witnesses observed. In a Sunday, August 18, 2019 message to this writer that he dictated to his wife, Rhonda dictated to his wife, Rhonda, Detective Pruitt described, I'm not sure what this is saying here. His wife, Rhonda? Is that a different Rhonda? Who are you talking about? In a Sunday, August 18, 2019 message to this writer that he dictated to his wife, Rhonda, maybe the writer's wife is Rhonda, also, randomly. Detective Pruitt described the unusual, ostensibly uncomfortably interview with Greg McDowell. So maybe we get to hear what McDowell was saying here. Flash said there were 2 carloads of people on the escapade. Besides Richard, he thinks it was his majors Robert Lane, Pat Messick dead, Paul Mayfield dead, Greg Calloway, Richard Preacher, who will think was at Hopewell Baptist Church. Flash said Richard Cott, is that when they say Flash, is that like a, I'm not even sure what that is. I think that's, I'm not sure what Flash means. I know, I just said that, Dan, yeah. Richard caught him off guard and said he knew he could look at Greg and tell if he killed Rhonda. This is the interview that Greg laid his head on the desk crying and said he didn't kill Rhonda. During the course of the December 23rd conversation, the detective noted that as he increased pressure on him, Greg seemingly became more nervous. In fact, at one junction, Flash estimated McDowell's heart rate to be 120 beats a minute, predicated upon a 15-second scale. And then came the question about the stuffed pink snake. Greg's revealing response was recorded in the case notes. I asked about his memory of the pink snake. He, Greg, couldn't recall the joke about it or how they got it in Myrtle Beach, but he acknowledged it stayed on his dresser at home. Yet the stuffed pink snake was among the items discovered in the Datsun 210 by investigators the afternoon subsequent to the killing of Rhonda Henson, and Greg McDowell admitted that it stayed on his dresser at home. It is unclear as to whether or not any interrogator asked the obvious question of the then 33-year-old engineer Greg, if it stayed on your dresser at home, how then did it end up in the right rear floorboard of Rhonda Henson's vehicle on December 23rd, 1981? Equally, well, that's kind of interesting, right? So some people say that they were breaking up and like they were giving items back to each other. Equally, it defies explanation and reason as to why McDowell was not more aggressively pursued as a suspect in the killing of Rhonda Henson in the wake of that stunning revelation. It stayed on his dresser at home. The very presence of the Myrtle Beach trophy in the decedent's vehicle should have provided a seventh compelling reason to focus enhanced investigative efforts upon her former boyfriend. Ostensibly, that did not happen. And then there was the mendacity, fabrications, false and misleading statements, lies by any other name that Greg McDowell and his parents proffered to law enforcement. many of which were uncovered and recorded by Detective Pruitt, all of which, when conflated, provided a eighth persuasive reason to suspect that Rhonda Hinson's boyfriend shot and killed her. The first of the fabrications that Flash noted was Greg's insistence that he spoke with Rhonda at 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday, December 23, 1981, and that she was already home when he did so. Moreover, when Bobby Hinson called McDowell at 2:19, so that means the father called Greg at 2:19 a.m. on the morning in question. Greg maintained that he thought that Rhonda was at home when she phoned him, when she phoned him at 12:30. Well, what a load of shit that is. Yeah, and I bet the phone records would show that she never made that call. But he wasn't alone in his effort to establish that particular time frame. Mother Betty McDowell was first interviewed by authorities on Tuesday, February 16, 1982 at 2:17 p.m. while in her office at Hickory Steel. Let's see, that was 1982, so that would have been, almost 2 months later. She told law enforcement that the phone rang at about 12:30 and woke them up, and they couldn't go back to sleep. Then, according to Mrs. McDowell, at around 2:30 a.m., the phone rang again, and that would have been Mr. McDowell answered the phone and gave it to Greg. Bobby Hinson was on the other end of the line and inquiring after his daughter, who had not returned from Hickory. The actual time of that incoming call was 2:19 a.m. according to Central Telephone records. Well, there should be record that there was never a call from her house to him here in a second, right? Detective Pruitt observed in his case notes that all of the McDowell's times seemed to be 12:30 a.m. and 2:30 a.m., each interview almost like it was rehearsed speech. Mrs. McDowell amended her February 16th statement relative to the assertion that that after the 12:30 a.m. phone, don't people normally use the word assertion here? This is asseveration. Asseveration. I never use that word ever. I say it with assertions, Relative to the assertions that after the 12:30 a.m. phone call, they could not go back to sleep before Bobby Hinson's call at around 2:30 a.m. So after that call, it woke them up, and they just couldn't fall back to sleep by 2:30. Why? Because her phone call was so stunning at 12:30 that it... Wouldn't that be crazy if... I don't know if they... if they up here, they know that the call was at 2:19. Don't they know then that there wasn't a call made? But wouldn't that be crazy if this Greg guy snuck over to snuck over to the house, climbed up the... somehow got into the house and made a phone call to his own parents. That would be absolutely crazy if that happened. I don't know, maybe in a minute they might say tuned to the 12:30 a.m. and 2:30 like it was rehearsed speech. Mrs. McDowell amended her February 16th statement relative to the assertion that after the 12:30 a.m. phone call, they could not go back to sleep before Bobby Hinson's call around 2:30 a.m. So Rhonda's dad, they're saying called at 2:30 a.m., but it was 2:19. The correction reads, Mrs. McDowell had went to sleep before 2:30, but had stayed awake for some time. But then the time frame story began to unravel as contradictory information was offered to investigators. Flash referenced a 1987 interview with Betty McDowell in his daily activity synopsis of Tuesday, December 5th, 1995. That's the mother. Betty McDowell said in 1987 interview that Greg got a call from Rhonda at midnight. She said she was sure it was midnight. The earlier interview, right after the shooting, The McDowell said the call was at 12:30. Could the 1987 interview be a slip of tongue and be the truth? Further, how could it be the truth, though? I mean, she never made it home. Further, during his Tuesday, December 23rd, 1997 interview with Detective Pruitt, Greg controverted his own time frame and flash noted the glaring discrepancy between earlier statements and this later one. The main discrepancy was he admitted Rhonda called him from Sherry Pittman's home. Okay, there you go. He stated several times he knew Rhonda was at Sherry's. His story to officers immediately following the incident was one of he thought she was at home when she called. Of course, Sherry Pittman Yoder and her mother, Burdell, had already established with the detectives the fact that Rhonda phoned Greg from their Hickory residence at around 12 a.m. There you go. And Flash had previously noted that although McDowell originally maintained that Rhonda phoned his house half past midnight, he had learned from Sherry Yoder that his girlfriend departed Hickory at approximately 12:30. Ah, there you go. Let's see, Rhonda phone. Let me read that again. I think that's important. And previously noted that although McDowell originally maintained that Rhonda phoned his house half past midnight, he had learned from Sherry Yoder that his girlfriend departed Hickory at 12:30. There is one other statement in Betty McDowell's February 1682 interview that is suspect. She indicated that subsequent to Bobby Hinson, December 23, 1981 phone call to their residence, Greg then came to their room and said Rhonda was not at home and asked them what Sherry's phone number was. She did not know, so Greg called the Hinsons and got Sherry's number. Greg then came in the room and said Rhonda was not at home and asked them. Okay, so then they called the Hinsons and got the number. On Tuesday, December 19, 1995, Detective Pruitt asked the Pittman ladies about whether or not Greg McDowell called their residence during the early morning of December 23rd, asking about Rhonda's whereabouts. Burdell Pittman averred that McDowell did not call that morning. However, some 12 years earlier, in 1983, audio recording, Sherry Pittman Yoder said that Greg called and asked them to look outside for Rhonda's car. Certainly, there was disagreement between mother and daughter as to whether or not McDowell phoned them on the morning of December 23rd looking for Rhonda. Further, according to Detective Pruitt, neither lady ever changed their original statement relative to receiving a phone call from the younger McDowell. But there was a larger issue. Mrs. McDowell maintained that Greg called the Hinsons from their Wilkies Grove residence to acquire Sherry Pittman Yoder's phone number. So McDowell maintained that Greg called the Hinsons from their Wilkies Grove residence to acquire Sherry Pittman Yoder's phone number because neither she nor Charles knew it. Central telephone records indicate the only phone call from the McDowell residence to the Hinson residence on December 23, 1981 was placed at 6:06 p.m. Wow, so there you go. That call never happened. If Greg McDowell did phone the Pittman residence during the wee hours of December 23rd looking for his missing girlfriend, then from which source did he acquire the phone number? And that's him right there. Let's actually see. Jill Turner Mole and Mark Turner. Okay. Beach trip summer 1981. So those are the friends that were on the beach trip with Rhonda and Greg right there. And I guess that's Mark Turner, who was the guy that went shopping with them also. Yeah, it's just about Apple time, you guys. Woo. Anybody over there? I don't know if there's anybody over there for you guys to see. but I need one. Yeah, there's a whole nother thing on him in a minute, so I want to go over that one too. Maybe one more of those, and maybe switch over to that other case. So hold on. Yep, we're about 60% of a normal night, so we got to get the apples going here. All right, so if you guys want to help out the channel, we can help me eat my apple. We get the stem and bites, and then we'll see what's below it. Got Lori Fisher and B Mountains, so here we go. Start getting rid of this really quick here. Where's one? Got the stem out of there. B Mountains. Guess we'll do 2 for that one. There we go. And there you go. Right. Oh, and Jiggy England and Linda Howe. Here we go. I'm eating my own apple myself. Alright, there we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you guys. Kathy Friday Maker. There we go. Good stuff. And I'm eating one that I just got. Wasn't even in the refrigerator. Maybe we'll just keep going through this one and do the other one tomorrow. Merry Christmas. Well, I guess the bite of the apple will just sit there. I wonder if Steph May ever went to sleep. I think it's... Well, it's not Christmas somewhere. It's Christmas Eve somewhere. No, you guys are supposed to be eating the apple. Thank you. Oh, Eugenie and Catty Corner. Here we go. We're going to get down there. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I'll probably do Christmas lights, yeah. Yeah. Probably tomorrow and Christmas. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve in Australia already. Wow, poor Chloe. You guys have her covered up with the apple. Man, that guy was using words that I've never used in my life in a sentence. How about you guys? Oh, you must be in, where are you at? Okay, Hawaii? Man, it's never been so hard to get through this apple. But the UK, you're a long ways away. I mean, it's... Oh, I see. I was reading my time wrong. Never mind. We'll make that a double. There you go. You've now got Blue and Chloe. Hey, thank you, classical guitarist Sarah M. I thought it was, for some reason I was looking down and I saw 12, I thought it was 12 midnight. And I was like, 5 hours? That doesn't make sense. But you're 8 hours ahead there. Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's just what he uses. Now, sometimes older people, like, they have like these words that were, well, they have probably a much, especially a writer, probably has a much larger vocabulary than most people. But if I was a writer, I would just kind of use the, common words. Blue, Chloe, why are you guys looking over there? Yeah. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Got up to almost the normal night, so that's good. Alright, let's do the... get back on to it. Alright, yeah, so we got Greg McDowell. So there's a whole Mark Turner thing. I want to read that one. There we go. Let's do the Mark Turner one. And then there's another one. I guess we'll just do this tonight, and then I mean the crazy part is we're like Dan was saying a minute ago, like he's only read a couple of these. There's 90 something. It's crazy. These massive articles just absolutely researched into oblivion where you actually know everything. And I think he knows. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah, let me even type that in. Let's look it up. Since we don't know, I don't know what that word means. I've never heard of it. Sounds a little bit like assertion, but maybe it's like and it means sort of something similar, I think. Declare or state, yeah. So when somebody asserts, right? Like, let's see what that says. Assertion. All right, spelled differently than I just did it, but a confident and forceful statement of fact. Okay, and then this one is asseverate, I guess. Asseverate. Declare or state solemnly or emphatically. Man, it sounds like it's exactly the same thing. Emphatically. Assertion means almost exactly the same thing. So I would go with assertion because like I would use assertion or something, like declare or state something. Hold on, let me see. Maybe that's not right. And this is a confident, forceful statement of fact. And the other one was state solemnly. I think they mean almost exactly the same thing, to be honest with you. See, when somebody says to be honest with you, that means they lie all the other times. We heard that on CM's channel. When they had that amazing statement analysis guy on there. If you said LY, you're lying. And if you said, to be honest with you, you're lying. Or that was probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. All right, let's go with the Mark Turner one here. When presented with competing hypotheses that make the same predictions, one should select the solutions with the fewest assumptions. Occam's razor. Yeah, that was going to pop into my head. It is William of Occam, circa 1287 to 1347, an English Franciscan friar, theologian, and scholastic philosopher, who was credited with advancing the notion that entities must not be multiplied beyond necessity. That's what I see a lot of times people doing in true crime. They just sort of keep, they keep expounding on something, but it was already like, not likely, and then you keep going, right? Must not be multiplied beyond necessity. The derived term Occam's razor refers to distinguishing between two hypotheses either by shaving away unnecessary assumptions, there you go, or cutting apart two similar conclusions. Thank you, Tracy Shepard. Also known as ontological parsimony, or the rule of simplicity, the oft-quote theoretical problem-solving maxim maintains that when presented with competing hypotheses that make the same predictions, one should select the solution with the fewest assumptions. I agree with that. In other words, the simplest explanation is usually right. I think that's kind of what we do on here all the time, right? There you go. That's right, Dan. Occam's asseverations. Yeah. One irrefutable fact that becomes abundantly apparent to anyone pursuing the extant records and primary documents of the investigation into the killing of Rhonda Hinson is that this case has been unnecessarily obfuscated by the introduction of complex, improbable theories. Oh man, I already love this guy. That's exactly what I always look when people are like, surfeited with the extraneous assumptions and variables. There you go. And if that sentence leaves you scratching your head, I think most of his does, in confusion, then you obviously have a grasp of the problem. In other words, this investigation has been rendered more complicated than it really is on all fronts, including any scenario involving Mark Turner. Where did that end? Now I'm Mark Turner. There it is. Okay. Because humans are naturally disposed to be makers of meaning, particularly those enamored with solving the unsolved, we tend towards apophenia. Apo means a way. I'm not sure what phenia means, but the inclination to forge connections and identity patterns among seemingly unrelated objects or ideas. God, that happens so often in the true crime, the wacko channels. That sentence right there. The inclination to forge connections and identify patterns among seemingly unrelated objects or ideas. And that proclivity is not always counterproductive and can result in arriving at creative, workable solutions to some overly complex problems or ascertaining the truth. But when investigating the 39-year-old case of a murder, the researcher must bear in mind that truth and legal proof are not the same thing. Therefore, any inquiry has to begin with the question, what is already known beyond reasonable doubt? Boom. So what do we always say, everybody? What are the facts in the case? Then, after that, I bet we're going to, you know what we're going to get in this one? I haven't even read this yet. But you know my mug that is, fill the box with facts before you think outside of it? I bet you that's going to be sort of what's going on in this article, right? A little bit. While attempting to ascertain Mark Turner's initial role in this tragic tale and rationalizations for his subsequent behavior, an investigator must consider what is known and supported by evidence. Yes, it is true that Mark Turner and Greg McDowell were friends. Remember, there was two people in that car that somebody saw, but not the best of. The nature of their association has been described consistently in this series as casual at best. In 1981, the two young men did not even run in the same circles, even though they did play basketball together. Their most consistent interactions with each other revolved around their respective girlfriends who were best of friends. And over the 22 months that this writer has researched the history of the investigation, and again, this is Larry Griffin. He wrote all these. Let's see. The nature of their association has been described consistently in this series as casual at best. In 1981, the two young men did not even run in the same circles, even though they did play basketball together. Their most consistent interactions with each other revolved around their respective girlfriends who were best of friends. And over the 22 months that this writer has researched the history of the investigation, there hasn't been a single instance in which an informant has ever described a moment in time when she saw Greg and Mark choosing to hang out together. Moreover, in 1996, there were at least 2 instances in which Mark Turner cooperated with authorities in attempts to throw Greg McDowell under the proverbial bus. And as reported as late as last installment, both Mark, whose memory ostensibly improved when he learned that he was not included on Detective James Flash Pruitt's list of suspects, and his wife's Faith stated, his wife Faith, that's her name, stated outright that while reflecting, I was like, wow, his wife's Faith in what? Oh, that's her name, because there's a capital F. Stated outright that while reflecting upon their December 1981 memories, they had arrived at the conclusion that their former classmate shot and killed his girlfriend. Those actions, and there it is again, asseveration, could hardly be construed as attempts to protect Greg McDowell. So the answer to the first of 2 parting queries, well, you could say that he didn't want himself to be arrested, so he was more than willing to throw a friend, Greg McDowell, under the bus. So the answer to the first of 2 parting queries posed in the conclusion of the last installment is Mark Turner reticence, protecting someone else other than himself, has to be resounding no. It is as simple as that. Mark Turner's reticence was protecting no one except Mark Turner, and by default his family. At least he must have perceived it so. It seems reasonable to conclude that at 18 years of age, Mark likely found it difficult to wrap his brain around the notion that a casual friend of his, whom he had purportedly seen just minutes before, actually shot and killed his girlfriend. And when he and girlfriend Jill Turner Mole traveled to the Wilkes Grove parsonage to check on Greg 6 hours after Rhonda Hinson was pronounced dead at the primary crime scene, the young Mr. Turner's beleaguered mind was understandably torn between denial and entertaining that very possibility. Once he was inside the the competing inferences vying for traction. I think that means, like, I don't know, that sounds like something to do with his mind. I don't use that word either, but let me type that one in. What do we got there? No, it's a house. The house, I was thinking of like men. Like, when I took linguistics, it was min, mon, min, but that's not that's an A. It's not min. The house occupied by a minister. Okay, there we go. So let's go back to that. Oh, that's right. So his dad was a minister, right? Let's see. Torn between denial and entertaining the possibility. Once he was inside the house owned by a minister, the competing inferences vying for traction inside his mind could account for the reticence of this otherwise light-hearted, loquacious guy whose behavior could upon occasion morph into being almost goofy, as Jill once described it. Only Mark Turner knows for sure to whom it was in the waning days of 1981 that he first confided what he knew and what he suspected. Certainly it was not his 18-year-old girlfriend. All Jill realized was that shortly after the murder of her best friend, there was an inexplicable shift in his behavior, one that she struggled to understand and navigate. The once empathetic ear that characteristically afforded understanding and support had been transmogrified into a stoic stalwart of silence, one that insisted, Jill, Rhonda is gone. You are going to have to get over it. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I hate when people say shit like that. It was this antipathy towards Rhonda Hinson's death and his girlfriend's consequent anguish that sounded the death knell to the approximate 17-month relationship between Mark Turner and Jill Turner Mole. The Mark Turner that I knew, Jill poignantly paused, searching for the appropriate descriptive words, was gone. Regrettably, neither Burke County Sheriff Department investigators nor the FBI sought out young Turner at the onset of the investigation into the killing of Rhonda Hinson. An oversight that beggars belief. That is pretty crazy. Like, how in the hell didn't you talk to that guy? And when authorities failed to appear to interrogate him, Turner, likely in concert with his immediate family, decided to remain aloof and silent on the subject. If they don't ask, where did that go? I lost my spot. Oh yeah. If they don't ask, then I will not voluntarily tell them anything. After all, to admit that he saw Greg McDowell moments before law enforcement averred that Rhonda was fatally wounded would place himself at the primary crime scene uncomfortably close to the auditorily detected discharge of the murder weapon. That's just crazy. So now they're even saying that Greg was around the scene. Perhaps investigators might conclude that he was involved in some way. Turner and his advisors could have conceivably reasoned, furthermore, did Mark really know anything conclusively? They possibly rhetorically ask, rationalizing the decision to remain reticent. And if ever questioned, the strategy appears to have been to proffer a cover story that would distance Turner from the location of the shooting. Detectives James Flash Pruitt noted that during his interview with Mother Barbara Turner, the matriarch seemed to be protecting her son by distancing him from the crime scene. Moreover, Mark's insistence that his selective medication muddled memory could not retrieve any of the time frames associated with crucial events of the evening of December 22nd and the early morning of December 23rd, 1981, also kept him at a safe distance from the site of the commission of the crime. As to the second of the concluding queries from last week's installment, is an interested invested party paying him, Mark, to remain silent. The same principle applies when divining an answer. What is known for a certainty? See, I mean, yeah. I mean, how do you know? So you feel, ooh, somebody paying him? Well, I mean, consider a question to answer a question. Why? Why would anyone need to pay Mark Turner to remain silent on the subject of killing Rhonda Henson, particularly when he seemed resolute to remain reticent to protect his own interest? In other words, if he told authorities about purportedly seeing Greg McDowell on the primary crime scene around 12:30 a.m. on the morning of December 23rd, then he would be placing himself in jeopardy. Why would he do that? Consequently, why would anyone in the McDowell family find it necessary to finance Mark Turner's filthy, whatever the hell that is? Now I gotta go look that up. A feudal tenets of that sworn loyalty to a lord. Formal acknowledgement of loyalty to a lord. Okay. So they're saying, why would you finance his loyalty to you? Okay, good. Certainly, judging from his actions in 1996, when he was finally interrogated, I'm going to have to keep a dictionary out with this guy. I mean, most of these things, you know, a lot of them I know, but some of these words I've never even seen. I'm sorry, but they're crazy. Certainly, judging from his actions in 1996, when he was finally interrogated, Turner demonstrated no real vested interest in protecting Greg McDowell from law enforcement. Law enforcement, of their own volition, seemed content to leave young McDowell alone, subsequent to his passing a second polygraph in Raleigh. On October 29, 1982, after performing poorly on the first one administered in Burke County shortly after Rhonda's murder. Prior to Detective James Flash Pruitt's thorough investigation, no other detective had considered Mark Turner's role in the Hinson homicide, let alone researched a connection between him and the McDowells and a possible money trail. And Flash's initial interest in the then 32-year-old Turner was to exploit perceived relationship between him and Greg. There is reason to believe, however, that had the good detective been allowed to continue his investigation, he would have circled back to apprehend a full understanding of Mark Turner's role, especially related to the return of a gray hooded sweat jacket that was initially left in his 1977 Buick Regal by the decedent on or about Friday, December 18th. So that was, I think, maybe around when they went shopping, right? But was found lodged on the sun deck of her Datsun 210 when examiners inventoried the car's contents during the afternoon of December 23rd. Clearly, Flash had come to believe that Mark gave that jacket to Greg McDowell to return to Rhonda when next he saw her. And he had discovered that there were only two possible time periods in which Turner would have had the opportunity to release the jacket to custodial care of Rhonda's boyfriend: the afternoon of Tuesday, December 22nd, or the early morning of Wednesday, December 23rd, 1981. But it makes more sense that it was in the day, I would say. Either date worked for Detective Pruitt, who had concluded that the only scenario, I don't think you'd meet somebody at 12 in the morning to hand them a shirt, a sweatshirt to give to a guy's girlfriend. That I could see in the middle of the day if you live close. Hey, can you give this? Either date worked for Detective Pruitt, who had concluded that the only scenario in which the sweat jacket could have landed on the Datsun's sun deck involved a secret assignation between Rhonda and her boyfriend, Greg McDowell. Greg McDowell, prior to 12:54 a.m., when the fatal missile entered the trunk of her vehicle, indisputably, Flash came to believe that although Mark Turner was not being completely forthcoming, he was pivotal to solving the case. It should be noted that law enforcement has at its disposal the resources to explore a possible fiduciary agreement between Mark Turner and another interested invested party. Of course, their resolve to do so is questionable, but for all intents and purposes, there isn't, at present, any evidentiary indication that such superfluous arrangement was ever initiated between Turner and the McDowells or anyone else. Yeah, this is a long one here. Yeah. So what is the Mark Turner allegedly knows? What is it? Substantial circumstantial evidence convincingly suggests he saw Greg McDowell passing in front of him as he sat at the stop sign at the end of Hazel Street. So maybe we should take a look at that. Yeah, because I think, doesn't Hazel... let's see. Oh, wait, so this is... Hazel Street's the one... Right? Hold on. That's Hillcrest. I think that's what this is right here. Oh, that's Hazel Street. Okay. So right here, there you go. So this is where there's got to be a stop sign right there, right? Yep. So that's exactly what they're talking about right now. He sat at the stop sign at the end of Hazel Street after chauffeuring Jill Turner Mole to her parents' Holly Hills home, circa 12:25 a.m. on December 23rd. Wow. So that is where Mark Turner 2:25 a.m. after, dropped off Jill. Oh, did they end up getting married later or something? Because her name is Jill Turner Mole now, but like that was his girlfriend at the time, so wasn't it Mole before, but now it's Turner? I don't know. Alright. So there you go, he's sitting right there. Purportedly, it was that juncture that he and Greg briefly discussed the impending breakup. Oh man, this is crazy. So what did he do? He just happened to be driving by, convincingly suggested he saw Greg McDowell passing in front of him as he sat at the stop sign at the end of the street. But then if he passed him, how did they end up stopping and talking? Purportedly, it was at that juncture that he and Greg briefly discussed the impending breakup between him and girlfriend Rhonda. Plausibly, McDowell told Turner that he was meeting Rhonda to return her personal effects. That kind of makes sense, prompting Mark to retrieve her gray hooded sweat jacket from his own automobile. No, that actually does make sense then. It was late then. What do you mean, Freya? Why are you asking me that? I don't get it. Are you guys, is everything okay in the chat there? Is everything going on? I'm trying to figure out what Freya is asking. Are you okay, Gray? Do I appear like there's something wrong with me, or I don't get it. Confused. I'm gonna have to wait. Maybe she's on rewind from like an hour ago or something. 2 hours ago. 2.5 maybe. No, but the way you ask means that you're noticing something's not okay. Normally, you're just going, how you doing, Gray? I don't know. Come on. What were you noticing? I'm trying to... You're blinking. Everything seems fine. I don't know what you were... I don't believe you though when you say you just wanted to see how I was doing. Purportedly, it was at this juncture that he and Greg briefly discussed the impending breakup between him and girlfriend Rhonda. And so that makes sense now that maybe it was the later time when he actually gave him the sweatshirt out of his car. So that does kind of make sense. If that was just randomly. Okay, yeah, that was earlier. Yeah, it was a long time ago, Freya. Yeah, so I'm doing well. You just gotta, read the community post and everything. Afterwards, Mark turned his Buick Regal toward Hickory and home, and no, there's absolutely not one shred of evidentiary proof that he was at the soon-to-be crime scene to bear witness the last minutes of the life of... God, that's so... I don't know, man. Afterwards, Mark turned his Buick Regal toward Hickory and home. So let's see what that means. So did he turn right there? Let's see where Hickory is. Hold on a second. Yep. So let's see. Would he have turned right there, though? Yeah, if Hickory's over here, I don't think he would turn right out of his... Here, he would go there and take a right. So he would probably do something like Mark would have been, coming like this, and then he would have turned right there. Yeah, that's so. Thanks for checking in, Freya. I thought you were like noticing something, or I was like, "Whoa, did I look that bad on you? Was I freaking out, or was he making weird faces, or what? Yeah, I mean, the stuff that the guy wrote in the email was shitty, right? But I'm not, he doesn't make me scared or anything like that. He's a, dime a dozen troll that you see all the time. So this is how he would go, like there. And apparently, she was shot kind of over in this area. So right after, he would have gotten, let's say that did happen, where she got he got the sweatshirt out of his car, put it into Greg's car, and then they both sort of carpooled a little bit, not carpool, but in a right behind one another. They're driving like this, and then Mark would have turned this way, where Greg may have continued on, maybe even stopped under here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I really just wanted to put that out there, Freya, because I think it's safer when you expose people like that, because now they know that everybody's watching what they might be doing. You know what I'm saying? He's a psycho. Alright, so let's get to this. So afterward, Mark turned his Buick Regal towards Hickory and home, and no, there is absolutely not one shred of evidentiary proof that he was at the soon-to-be crime scene to bear witness to the last minutes of the life of his girlfriend's best friend. It was on the campus of the University of Colorado in Colorado Springs that this writer first met renowned neuroscientist and psychiatrist Daniel Amen. During a session at a week-long brain-based conference, Dr. Amen informed his audience that he would ascertain the physical appearance and health of the brain by looking at our faces in a mirror. Your face, he averred, is reflective of the way your brain looks. Nervous laughter indicative of both amusement and concern. So he's talking about something that sounds a little bit like this. Nervous laughter indicative of both amusement and concern sporadically erupted from the diverse audience. And rest assured that during the next break, the bathrooms were populated with conferees who were carefully considering their visages in the long rectangular mirrors mounted above the hand-washing sinks. A number of factors can cause the brain, hence the mind, to age prematurely, among which are self-destructive diets and chronic stress. Chronic stress expresses itself through the etching of facial lines which are naturally deepened by the passage of time. Mark Turner, like his former girlfriend, Jill Turner Mole, Greg McDowell, their former East Burke classmate, and the late Rhonda Hinson, is 57 years old. Yet, as several respondents to the Remembering Rhonda Hinson Facebook page noted, after viewing Mark's photo included with installment, let's see, that must be 50, 60, 70, 81, he looks older than his chronological age, which would suggest, which would suggest, so he looks older than his age. If so, there could be a number of factors contributing to the perceptible premature aging, among which might be the psychological burden of concealing crucial information with the concomitant fear. Another word we got to look up. Hold on. Naturally accompanying. Okay. Information with the naturally accompanying fear of being discovered, a burden that has purportedly been borne now for almost 39 years. But how does a person who has at the least withheld case-resolving information, or at the most lied to authorities for all these years, find the courage to come forward now to announce deception? It cannot be lost on Mark Turner that if he was withheld information from law enforcement for almost 4 decades, then coming forward now could result in his facing... Hold on a second. I think my dog camera is not working. I think that's why you can't see a dog up there. It quit working. Cannot be lost on Mark Turner that if he has withheld information, there's no escaping that fact. It would require an immense amount of courage summoned from a deep conviction that it is time to do the right thing without regard to personal consequences. And on his birthday in 1996, a 33-year-old Turner told Detective Pruitt that he wanted to do the right thing. The first step, of course, is to admit to having pivotal information that could finally affect resolution and bring a modicum of peace to a family. A mother, a father, a brother, who have grieved over the loss of a daughter and sister for the past 39 years. Perhaps the original 17-year-old Mark Turner, the insouciant. There we go again. Shit. Man, this guy. Showing a casual lack of concern. Okay. The lack of concern, one that Jill Turner Mole was first attracted to. So, she was attracted to him when he wasn't concerned. He was just kind of, casual about everything. Was first attracted to and dated for 17 months, might have possessed such courage perhaps 40 years later he still does. So that's him right there. Perhaps the original 17-year-old Mark Turner was first attracted and dated, might have possessed such courage. So they're saying that he probably has information, but that's just ridiculous that you wouldn't come forward with that kind of thing, information right now. Yeah, that's probably a good synonym, aloof. Man, I remember having that haircut right there. Come on, raise your hand if you were in high school in 1980 something. Everybody had that haircut right there. It's like, it just looked, what the hell, what was going on back then? Who the hell, why would that ever have looked good on a soul? Basically, that haircut was, hey, take a shower and don't ever get a haircut, really. Just kind of do something. Now, part it in the middle and blow it back with a unbelievable. No, it's not cute at all. That haircut sucked. Are you kidding me? I look like a... Well, I'm not saying I look any better now, but back then it was like... Yeah, like the feathered look, right? So that was interesting. Let me see. Now... So we've already done... Let's do this one. So we'll just do this second one that's on Greg McDowell. And there's some kind of a letter in here, but here we go. Recognize what is right in front of your face, and what is hidden will be revealed to you. For there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed. The Gospel of Thomas, saying, the fifth. Ron Williamson sat on Oklahoma death row for 11 years after he and a friend, Dennis Fritz, were convicted of rape and murder of Debbie Carter on December 8, 1982, 15 days shy of the first anniversary of the killing of Rhonda Hinson. Both men were found guilty during separate trials in which spurious testimony, manufactured evidence, and faulty forensic were proffered as evidentiary support by District Attorney Bill Peterson. Wow. Those are the ones I'm talking about that should be served prison time. And yes, Williamson twice submitted to polygraph testing. Both results were inconclusive. Additionally, Peterson suppressed evidence that could have facilitated the defense case. Ron's life was, by any measure, a train wreck, making him an easy target for investigators and prosecutors. Born in 1953 in Ada, Oklahoma, young Williamson was a natural athlete who, yeah, this is about Rhonda. They're trying to make sure I'm in the right one. Natural athlete who showed promise as a baseball player and was added to the rosters of farm clubs for the Oakland Athletics and the New York Yankees. However, he could not handle his newfound notoriety and developed an addiction to both drugs and alcohol. Throughout his life, he battled mental illness. In fact, when he was tried for the Carter murder in 1988, approximately 6 years after the crime, he was actually mentally unfit to stand trial. However, his mental state was never called into question, and he was summarily convicted and sentenced to die. His friend Dennis Fritz, a science teacher and a fellow guitar player, was remanded for life imprisonment. In his only non-fiction book, An Innocent Man, Murder and Injustice in a Small Town, writer John Grisham graphically describes Williamson's treatment on Oklahoma death row, taunting by death row guards over the intercom at night, going months without showering, scarcely subsisting on an insufficient diet, and confinement in the H Unit located on the grounds of Oklahoma McAllister Penitentiary. Known for its cavernous underground dungeon, bereft of fenestration, fresh air, and sunlight, in September 1994, Mr. Williamson came within 5 days of being executed before his public defender filed a habeas corpus petition contending that his counsel was ineffectual, failing to acknowledge Ron's lack of mental competency to stand trial, inadequately investigating witnesses, and was dilatory in introducing into evidence a videotaped confession of another suspect who averred that he raped and killed Miss Carter. Finally, on Saturday, September 9, 1995, the petition and a stay of execution was granted by District Court and affirmed by the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals on Thursday, April 10, 1997. I think at some point it's going to get back to the right case here. But, yeah. But Ron's nightmare was not over. His mental state continued to deteriorate while awaiting the court's petition decision. So he was transferred to the prison's psychiatric special care unit for treatment. The death row inmate was still in custody there when the stay of execution was announced, and when he eventually learned from the Innocence Project attorney that DNA case evidence had been analyzed and neither his nor Dennis Fritz's DNA matched the profile. And see, that's where I think the prosecutor should be put in prison for at least half the time that they sat in there. Okay? I think it's sick because they invent shit. On Thursday, April 5th, 1999, both men were exonerated and released after over a decade of confinement for a crime to which neither of them was remotely connected. The evidence that kept one man on death row for 11 years and another remanded for life was both manufactured and tangentially circumstantial. Williamson and Fritz filed a lawsuit against a corrupt DA, law enforcement, for their slipshod investigation, other defendants who proffered false testimony, inclusive of the man who actually was later convicted of killing Debbie Carter. Wow. And the state of Oklahoma. The suit was settled for an undisclosed amount, but none of the aforementioned officials who perpetrated this miscarriage of justice were held accountable. Man, this guy is like I love this guy. Man. That's exactly what, I think it sucks. How many times have I said to you guys that these district attorneys who falsely imprison people should be put in prison for at least half the time because they ruined somebody's life intentionally. They just wanted to win. I'm trying to figure out when the hell... There, okay, Rhonda's finally coming up down here. That was kind of cool to hear about this. The suit was settled for an undisclosed amount, but none of the aforementioned officials who perpetrated this miscarriage of justice were held accountable under the law for their malfeasant, what's that word? Malfeasant? I've heard this one a million times. Malfeasant. This one is maleficent. Oh shit, I gotta look that one up. That's one that I never use either. Malfeasance I've seen a million times. So this one is they even have a meaning. Powerful fairy living in moors. Huh. Sadly, Ron Williamson had precious little time to enjoy his newly acquired freedom. He died on Saturday, December 4th, 2004, almost 5 years, 8 months after his release. He was a broken man who never fully recovered from the maltreatment suffered as an inmate on Oklahoma death row. If specious circumstantial evidence can be utilized to affect the outrageous outcome in the Williamson-Fritz case, then why can't the substantive man, my lips are sticking together, circumstantial evidence of the Rhonda Hinson murder case? So in that case, he's saying there's a hell of a lot way better evidence collected over the years by investigators constitute adequate justification for a probable cause warrant. A systemic analysis of the evidence amassed across the 38 ensuing years since the killing of Rhonda Henson facilitates the understanding as to why two profilers, Detective James Flash Pruitt, 3 other anonymous investigators, the Hensons, Jill Turner Mole, and other acquaintances like Mark and Faith Turner eventually concluded that Greg McDowell shot and killed Rhonda Henson. First, within the case files, there are warning signs that Greg McDowell was certainly capable of causing harm to his 19-year-old girlfriend. A perusal of the epistolary chain addressed to his girlfriend reveals a young man who believes himself to be irrevocably in love, a love that seemed to morph into an uncomfortable, obsessive, possessive relationship, especially for Rhonda, and periodically the obsession expressed itself through cutting language and eventually aggressive physicality. So what we're looking at here is exactly what the stories that we've been told in the domestic violence stories that if you've watched any of them or listened to them on my channel recently, same thing. A few of McDowell's revealing notes and letters to his girlfriend were retained and cataloged by investigators. This writer found copies of those. However, there was a trove of correspondence containing numerous cards and letters which were not entered into evidence files, but bespeak a developing tension between the two teenagers that seemed to become more pronounced, especially during their second year of dating, their senior year at East Burke. All right. After an ostensible disagreement, McDowell penciled a remorseful missive during his lunch period, apologizing for things that he said to his girlfriend. "I'm not eating lunch today. I'm sitting where..." I wonder how similar this is going to be to some of the stuff that we've been hearing in these interviews that the stories that have been told by these abused women. We got 3 of them on there right now. It's kind of hard to hold back the tears, so if this paper is wet, you'll know why. See, he's trying to guilt, like he's the one that did something, and now he's trying to make her feel guilty. Remember how in Kit's story, she actually started laughing when she told the part about how she was beaten up by this guy, and then she was actually consoling him, right? Let's see. It's kind of hard to... Hey, thank you very much, Sarah M. It's kind of hard to hold back the tears, so if this paper is wet, you'll know why. I just can't imagine us not being together, and when I think of it, I go to pieces. I want you to know that I love you now, and I will always love you. I never want to hurt you, and I would never intentionally hurt you. I'm sorry, very sorry about the things I said. Please understand I can't explain what happened or why I felt the way I did, but I want you to know that I didn't mean it. I want us to go on like we were and forget about this. I try so hard to make you happy every chance I get. I try to do something for you. All I ask in return is love and understanding. Nothing else is important. Please forgive me when I make you mad and try to think about the good things I do for you. So, listen, I need you to feel guilty for the times you get mad at me. And, because look at all the really amazing things. Across days and months, the notes and letters commence to assume a more threatening tone, and instances that, I don't know, that doesn't, it's not exactly the same as what we've been hearing in some of these stories. I'm just thinking out loud how that was going. Across days and months, the notes and letters commenced to assume a more threatening tone and insistence that Rhonda remain her typical ebullient self, irrespective of the circumstances in which she found herself. So, hey, I don't care how mean I am, you've got to be, no matter what I'm saying, you got to be just really happy. Now, the times where you guys think I'm so mean and you're mad, I don't say, hey, you need to be happy. You're just mad at me that day, and then you come back the next day, and hopefully we're moving on, right? Oh, shit.
Ray, you're so mean.
Yeah. Chloe's having a second dose of food right now. Please don't let those exams get you down, okay? You'd better be happy or I'll get you. Remember, I have a shotgun. Right? What the hell? Greg Plant, let's see. Across days, months, and notes, the letters became more threatening. On one that Greg penned during exam weeks, beginning empathetically enough before the language becomes a bit more demanding. Please don't let those exams get you down, okay? You'd better be happy or I'll get you. In a note, that's crazy shit right there. In a note, one of the few investigators retained as evidence, McDowell directly addresses his girlfriend's moroseness that he implies was caused by her disbelief in his avowed exclusivity of their relationship. Then, as criminal profiler Pat Brown, that's the girl on the lady on YouTube. She's a nut job now, though. The postal script took a bizarre twist, even if the writer was kidding. It hurts me to see you sad, upset, or worried. I understand why you were worried, but please don't be worried anymore. It's pretty silly to worry because you're the only one for me. I give you all I have, and that leaves nothing for anyone else. And that's the way I want it. So you better give everything to me and nothing to anybody else. So that's why I can't believe it when you're going to shopping and doing stuff without, me being involved, because that's exactly what he's saying right there. I give you all I have, and that leaves nothing for anyone else. And that's the way I want it. Meaning, and that's the way you should be too. Okay, I love you. P.S. You'd better be happy and smile and be your usual self tonight, or I'll shoot you with my shotgun. What a dumb, a normal person, if you type something like that to make it funny or cute, would be something like if you went, okay, I love you. P.S. You'd better be happy and smile and be your usual self tonight, or I'll, kiss you in front of all, whatever. It's just some goofy thing. But shoot you with my shotgun? I mean, what? Who the hell? Who would ever even think that there was anything cute about that? And then it happened. Physical abuse was introduced into their romantic equation, ostensibly reacting out of jealousy to a note he read addressed to Rhonda from an unnamed male tennis partner. An apologetic Greg writes, I'm really sorry I apologize for pushing you. I really lost my temper, and I'm sorry for being so stupid. Please forgive me. Really, I'm sorry for pushing you. I just lost my temper. Please understand, I'm sorry. I'm so jealous, but I can't help it. When I read the part about tennis muscle and love you and wish I'd gotten to know you a lot sooner and see you at work this summer. I mean, the thing is, when you're younger, like in your 19, 20, stuff like that does, you know, when you're a guy or something, it does make you a little bit more like, oh man, what are you doing? You know, because you're just full of hormones and shit like that. I think. What do you guys think? Is there any guys out there? But don't you think, like, when you were 17 or 18, and let's say you found a letter from a girl, your girlfriend, or she was like hugging a guy or something. I think when you're that age, your hormones are at like your peak of your life. Like you're just some kind of a Neanderthal almost. It's kind of weird too, right? Because aren't women's at 40? Right? So it's kind of strange. It's almost like 17-year-olds and 40-year-olds have the same hormone levels. Guys, and then, yeah. Real channel person who does the work, but when I'm about, you're going to keep being you. Well, thanks. Any mention of how awkward it would be for her to be in a sick triangle regarding his father? Yeah. Oh, we talked about that earlier. Yeah, okay, it's 36, right? Yeah, why don't they make it the same, though? Right? Yeah, so that's what's weird, right, Beholder? So women have it right. Like, your hormones are at their highest level, like 36 to 40, and your brain is absolutely awesome. But a guy, their highest level is like, 18 to 20, 22, and they're freaking morons, right? Just absolute barbaric whack jobs, right? Like, God, what were you thinking, man? What were you thinking? Right? That's a little confusing. If you don't, you shouldn't mind me. Oh, look at that. Okay, here we go. See, this sucks right here. I'm sorry I'm jealous, but I can't help it. When I read the part about tennis muscle and love you and wish I'd gotten to know you a lot sooner and see you at work this summer and play tennis with you this summer, I naturally got upset. I hope you don't care for him. If you don't, you shouldn't mind me beating his ass. He concludes with, I love you, and simply signs Greg. Rhonda's only note to Greg, found in her personal effects that she had cached underneath her bed, clearly implies that McDowell struck her in the face. Since I am such a liar, I ain't saying nothing. Thanks, you hurt my lip and my jaw where my tooth hurts. Purportedly, there were classmates of Greg and Rhonda who were aware of and commented after the contentious, increasingly torrid relationship between the couple. Jeff Hinkle, an East Burke classmate, spoke with Detective Pruitt on Tuesday, December 5th, 1995, and at approximately 2:30 p.m., while sitting inside the detective's automobile parked outside of Mr. Hinkle's Roderich Street residence, Flash synopsized their interaction on his case notes. What are you talking about, Jake Case? Jesus. Are you being negative tonight? You're high. Girls start out needy and nothing changes. What? So they're just needy forever? Is that what you're saying? Come on, Jay. I don't know if you worded that correctly or what's going on there, but so are you dissing on your wife right now, Jay? No, Jay's always been here. I don't know, maybe that's a fake. Well, it can't be a fake one because he's a mod. I think maybe he's He's having a bad night. Okay, well maybe just that one, Jay. I don't think all women are needy at all. I think you just happen to be in a strange frame of mind right now, perhaps. My brain is still in its 20s. I think I may need a drink in a minute. Jay's making me want to drink. Jay's been around a long time. Aha, he was kidding around. See, you guys, you bought into it, man. But you're surrounded by women. Yep, well, so am I. Look at me. My wife's over there, and on the show, there's usually 200 and something women watching, and maybe 50 guys or something. I have like a 80%, maybe 77, something like that. All right, so let's get down to this part. Hinkle remembered both Greg and Rhonda. He said Greg was well known for his violent, possessive nature with Rhonda, even at school. He said Rhonda became withdrawn from her friends during her senior year as a result of Greg being jealous over her talking to other people. During a telephonic interview with this writer, a forthcoming Jeff Hinkle averred that Greg had a short fuse around her, Rhonda. He indicated that he had read all the evidence that Detective Pruitt had in his possession detailing the case. He also recounted the incident in which Detective Pruitt asked him to make an appointment with McDowell at his Britain engineering office in Hickory and requested that he wear a wire to capture any incriminating statement that Greg might make during the visit. Then he added a rather chilling revelation. When I was sitting in Greg's office waiting on him and looking around, all of a sudden the thought struck me that I was sitting in this office here in the presence of the man who had killed Rhonda Hinson. But are the notes and letters which predominantly pass from Greg to Rhonda merely expressing a romantic angst characteristic of many young love relationships? Perhaps. However, the aforementioned correspondence assumes a certain poignancy within the context of the killing of Rhonda Henson and cannot be ignored or dismissed. The physical, aggressive, violent behavior speaks for itself. Apparently, the first investigator who began to seriously entertain the possibility that Greg McDowell killed Rhonda Henson was Detective James Flash Pruitt. One of his first considerations was an assessment of opportunity. Did the suspect have the opportunity to perpetrate the crime during the early morning of December 23rd? Of course, yeah. The next several installments will delineate the evidence from case files that implicates Greg McDowell in the killing of Rhonda Henson. Well, we need to go find all those too. So that's one of his letters. I can't read it, but I think that's what we read above. Sweet, man. Isn't that crazy? Just that random case that we pulled out, and then Dan, saying, hey, check this out. Boom. I mean, look at all this stuff on this one case. Unbelievable. Just like yesterday it was a case where, wow, isn't that weird? Her car, there was a bullet in it. It went through the trunk and hit her in the chest. Now there's tons and tons of stuff. Are you guys arguing in there? Oh boy. Frey was saying that he couldn't be fake, Jay, because you're a mod, your name is Blue. Gray was saying that it can't be a fake Jay case because that's him, right? I mean, he's a moderator. That means the account that was, that's him. Maybe Jay's been sitting around having a couple of cocktails on a Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what I don't know when I'm going to read the other 89. But I want to do the other ones on Greg. Don't you guys want to read the other ones on him? I think we already did one of them. I think we need to keep going through it, though. It's wild. Crazy. All right, you guys. I think that's it for me. It's been, 3 hours and 2 minutes. I mean, what show haven't I done that's... I mean, a lot of times they're 4 hours. Man, you guys are lucky. I'm lucky too, though, you guys. I'll have to do the other case another time. The Canadian billionaire couple that was murdered. Well, hey, thank you, Dan, for getting me on that track. Hopefully, if I can hear back from Larry Griffin, boom. You know, we'll just have him on, maybe a couple shows or something. And, you know, I think it'd be incredible to listen to the writer, because he just has probably everything right in his head, and he can just go through it. And, man, be unbelievable. Merry Christmas. Yeah, so I did leave him a message, and I'll tell you what, it might even be interesting if even the Jerry Langford, the editor. I mean, he knew a ton of stuff too, but I want to talk to Larry Griffin. I mean, my God, the amount of research he's done, unbelievable. All right, so thank you to Teresa for upgrading your membership, and then Patricia Cross becoming a member, and then Amy Rastad with a double cat eye donation, kind of salvaging the night. Then Lane S, Linda Howell, Eugenie, Sarita, Beholder with one of her only non-vomit face donations, and then out of just compassion for my desire to see the vomit face, she sent in another one. And then Tina Susser, and then Philly, Your Gypsy, Kit Kat, B Mountains, Vale, Lori Fisher, B Mountains again, Jiggy England, Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. I can't even see the Susan person that you're talking about. I don't see a Susan in here anywhere. Oh, Susan Mundy, okay. I see her. Yeah, I don't have 600,000 people here. I don't think I'll ever have 600,000. I don't even want 600,000. I think 110 would be cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like Makeup Mobster and John Crimes. What does that mean though? Does that mean something, or? I wish Makeup Mobster never left, but she needs to get off of the drama. And I don't like that John Crimes keeps doing the drama. He's a really good filmmaker. I mean, really like high level shit. When he makes a video on crime, and I kind of want him to get back to doing stuff related to that instead of just sort of the nightly drama stuff. He's a lot better than that, Like I have to keep putting out these fires, but I spend like 10 minutes and then I move on and do the crime. So I wish he would, get back to what he's really good at. Although he is pretty good at, the drama aspect of it. I mean, he keeps everything in his mind and stuff, but he shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, I think so too, Elaine. He's got a lot of talent. He doesn't need to be doing shit like that. It's easy though. It's easy to just hit the button, you go on, and you start going through the drama stuff. It's easy. It's easier to do. I hate doing it. It's just an absolute waste of time. Sometimes you have to confront something, though. Well, he needs to just get going now, Susan. He's been doing that for a long time. Okay. It's been way too long already. Hey, thanks, Freya. Appreciate it. I don't like that. I don't like the drama community in any way, shape, or form. It's an embarrassment. Especially the Krama community. What a joke. Are you kidding me? I mean, those people shouldn't even be allowed on Facebook or YouTube or anything. It's just a complete waste of time for people. Okay? Drama should never be part of helping out a case. Like you're looking into a missing person, and then all of a sudden you start doing drama and people are arguing, and it's just, what in the hell are you doing? Now, the people with the bullhorns screaming outside the front of somebody's house, those people should be banned from all social media for doing that shit. It is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? Can't stand it. But the thing is sometimes you just got to keep defending yourself. I know exactly what happened to him, Susan, but I don't want to talk about it. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're really interested in the drama. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to stop anything, Susan. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't tell me what to do on my own show, okay? You seem like you're somebody that's really into drama. You came in here, you started bashing one of my long-term mods that's been in there for a long time. Drama sucks. So when you say, so please, something, pray, just stop. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. You get what I'm saying? So, don't tell me to please stop. I know exactly what I'm saying. I respect John Crimes. I think he's great at his craft. He needs to get away from the drama, have a final thing, and get back to that stuff. I know exactly what happened to Makeup Mobster. The CPS, all that shit. I've emailed her many times, and I've told her that I think she should get back on there and quit don't do drama anymore, because she's fun to just hang out with as she's doing her show, and that's it. Okay? So if you don't like what I just said, I don't give a shit. That's what I'm going to tell you. Okay? And I think it's a compliment, actually, to John Crimes. I think he's really good at what he does. He needs to get, every time I see him now, though, it's about a whole show on drama. And I think he's not using his talents. He's freaking amazing at the video stuff. Okay? And editing and all that shit. And he's good at it. Oh, God. Here we go. Look at this drama queen in here. Are you kidding me? Wow, everybody. Look at how mean Gray is. Look at yourself sometimes. Susan, go look at how you've been acting on here and see if it fits like a normal person. Okay? Thank you. All right. Jesus. What a baby. God. Whew, wow. All right. There you go. Yeah, I know all about Makeup Mobster. I know all the shit that's been going on. Okay, I think you just confront the problem and then you stop it. That's it. No, I don't think so, Mod. I think what I was saying was absolutely right. So, thanks, California Thunder, to help with the end of the year. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. No, you're not a YouTuber. It's weird how we were just having a normal show and then all of a sudden this shit show happens at the end. How does that happen, you guys? How does it happen? Oh, wow. Look at what you were saying and how you were talking to people here. Oh, what did you do wrong? Okay, what you did wrong was, first of all, you called Jay out up there. And then secondly, I was just explaining to you and you started saying weird shit like, I'm friends with these two people. Like, what difference does that make? And then I said, yeah, but I like both those people. And I wish that both of them would never have gotten into the drama aspect of it, because I like watching both of them do their actual craft of their work. Okay? And I go on and I watch John Crimes on his other, what is it called? Whatever, the drama channel that he does. And I watch it, and I'm supportive of him, but I'm just sort of like, man, dude, you're so talented. What the hell are you doing? Get back onto you're amazing at it. And maybe what I would do if I was him would be to do crime, and then as you're working on your videos, do shows on a semi-nightly basis on the same case that you're working on, so people are always interested and motivated and interested in what you're doing, and then when it's all done, they're all going to watch it and share it and do all that kind of stuff. That's what I would do. I don't know, Zozo. I just... Drama sucks, man. Jeez, it's such a... And see, what'll happen is what I just said, Susan will misword it to John Crimes and make it sound like I was bashing him, because you know how that's going to work, because drama's fun for those people. Okay, instead of saying, no, he was really complimentary of you, he just wishes you'd get back on to doing true crime because you're so good at it, at the videos that he makes. Okay? That's what I was saying. Okay, well, then keep showing respect, Susan, by not telling me what to say, what to talk about. Okay? I'm always respectful over there to everyone that you just mentioned, but you're not being respectful over here. I guarantee it, you don't talk like that when you're over on his channel. I guarantee it. All right? Like if I was just doing drama 5 days a week for 6 weeks in a row, and he was over there saying, man, I wish Gray would get back to doing his true crime shows. He was really good at it. I don't think that would be bad at all for him to say that, because I'd probably go, damn it, you're right. Right? Thanks, Carolina T. Because, he wants to be going to CrimeCon and stuff, right? Like, what is the stuff that he's doing right now? It's not CrimeCon related. I guess he's going to... I hope he's going to go this year. I don't know. I'm not even sure what's going on with this stupid COVID shit going around. It's unbelievable. Carolina T. Yeah, Carolina T is the one that... looks like the shot's frozen now. She created both these images right back here. Look at this one. Isn't that awesome? Watercolor right there of blue. Looks just like him. Look at that. Look at that. That's like an amazing watercolor, right? Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Susan. I'm not mad. Look at Susan. You're not like an enemy or something like that. I just, I don't want to do drama in here, and everybody doesn't have perfect days. Jay Case has been a moderator here for I don't know, 2.5, 3 years now, maybe. And he's a ER doctor working on COVID patients and all kinds of shit every single day. And if he says something that somebody doesn't like, well, maybe cut him a break every once in a while. All right, but I appreciate you being here and everything, but try not to tell people that are streaming what to say and what not to say and that kind of thing when you're on the show. I'm just wishing that he would get back to doing true crime stuff. All right, so I hope that's not offensive to anybody, and if it is, then you're just dumb. Okay, so yeah. Well, that's blue, but they're not really frozen there. The camera stopped, and I guess apparently it keeps the last frame. Now, if he starts moving all of a sudden, I'm going to freak out, because that means he was goofing around, Susan. He explained that later. I agree if he meant that, it was a little bit, Ah, so cute. Yeah, I wish they were moving. I don't have any way to get them moving around at this point. Okay, cool. Yeah, He said he was goofing around though. And Jay's been around a long time, so it seems so out of character. And then he jumped in with he was just joking. So then I realized, okay, he was doing the dry humor angle that he does sometimes. Whenever you hear female's needy, it means the man is hard up. It does? I don't understand that one. Yeah, no problem. So what did you guys think? What do you guys think of this story now? It does sound like the boyfriend, doesn't it? I think that's what everybody thinks too. I think the writer, all the people around, everybody thought that. And I think the car actually got pulled over because you remember that last part, he was going to give stuff back to her. So maybe he like honked his horn and then he brought stuff over to her car, and then as she was just still sitting there, maybe he pulls out his gun and he shoots at the car to scare her, and then it actually ends up killing her. You know, he's trying to be like, because it'd be such a miracle shot to shoot through the trunk, through seats, and hit her, right? Yeah. Pretty crazy story. Pretty crazy. Yeah. I mean, it was a weird comment when I first read it, Jay, especially when you followed it up with, yes, and, you know, my wife. Now when I think back, it's like, I think he had us all on a string there for a second. Yeah. Asservation. Man, we learned like about 15 words tonight.
No, Gray, you did. I knew all of them, okay?
Oh, shit, Mary Lou, you didn't know a damn one of them.
Okay, you're right.
See? Told you. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I did get a... well, I got 2 PayPals. One from Adonica, and another one from Lily. Wait, hold on before I say. Yeah, Lily Rose. Okay, thank you. I don't want to say the name. Oh, I've done the LaSalle Street murders already. Somebody sent me, hey, LaSalle Street murders. Didn't we do the LaSalle Street murders? Right? Hold on. I think we did a 3-part series on that one. Yeah, the LaSalle Street murders right there, yeah. Right, yep. James Barker did it. Right. Yeah, we've already done the LaSalle Street murders. You'll have to go back and find that one. That was an interesting one.
Thank you for all the reading you did for us. _basic generous S.
Yeah, no. I wanted to read it. I didn't want to read it first. Why did I say murder? That one was a multiple... Jesus. Multiple part. Yeah, that was a really crazy one, right? It seems like it was the... didn't they... Those 3 guys, right? And it seems like one of them was killed just because they were there. And then it was like, I believe it was the owner of the business or something that he worked at before. I can't remember exactly the details, but you guys remember that. It was like a 3-parter. It was awesome. Yeah, well, it's the only way to go through. I mean, I can't really research the research. I mean, like reading newspaper articles, sort of similar, but in this case, like he's already done everything. I just want to, it's 100, like 90 something articles all on that case in 2 years. Basically once a week, it seems like. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said, though, Susan. He said a minute ago that all women aren't needy. It was a joke. So how come you're continuing on with that line, Susan? He already said he was joking around. And it's obvious now because that's not what he says ever, actually. He likes strong women and stuff in here. So, I'm not sure why you can't just let it go at that, You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was kind of a weird, it was weird at the time, but then it was like so absurd that it became, and then he said, I was just kidding. I'm just trying to figure out why you're still going at it instead of just, crazy times. I guess people are just more interested in drama. How do we create, what do we do? Let's just invent some bullshit and we'll just start screaming. And there you go, yes. The Mental Health Service Administration National Helpline is 1-800-662-4357. I'll be calling that for myself right after the show, given the ridiculousness in here. No, it's not, Susan. It's because it's exact opposite, Susan, of what you just said. It doesn't make you strong by continuing something that was resolved. He was joking around. Now you just seem like somebody that likes drama. Okay? Because look how we're still talking to you about something completely meaningless. Jesus.
See how mean Gray was to somebody?
Not really. Just look at how they were acting on the show. It's weird. Yeah, why don't you guys just all start having drinks? No, you're a little bit weak, Susan. You must be weak-minded because you can't get what we were just saying. You're still going down. It's like when somebody says, they tell you that 2 + 3 is 5, and then later they go, I'm sorry, it's 2 + 2 is 4, I was just goofing around, and you keep going on for hours. How they told you it was 5. And you're going to believe it was 5 because that's what you were told. And you're going to keep going and going and going. It makes you weak that you can't just move on now. I could do a poll, but I don't think it'd be good in your favor. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Jay Case. Love the freaks. I'm trying to let it go. The freaks and myself.
Love the freaks. I'm trying really to let it go. The freaks and myself and you are tight.
On behalf of all needy women. Oh, jeez. Yeah. A strong-willed person would be to admit when they made a mistake by getting mad at somebody, and because they realize, okay, he was kidding. Oh, shit, I don't really know him that well. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what a strong person does. But a weak person's one that can't admit that they were wrong, and they just continue down the same path over and over and over again. Okay? So that's the truth, and you can do with that what you want. Yep. Yeah, you guys always, whenever I say something that you don't like, you bash me back. It's okay, though. Yeah, it's okay. We're just all people at a Thanksgiving dinner. You know how it works. And here's the thing, everybody. I don't care if you're a channel member or a moderator or a like a freak watching. I'll say the same thing in the same situation to anybody. As unfortunate as that is for me, because if you leave as a member or something like that, it affects me, but at the same time, it's just, it's reality. I can't let, I'm not going to just sort of, look the other way. It just is what it is. Jay's been around here for a long time. He sets me straight sometimes. Not very often, but yeah, he has, though. Like hell, he's the one that suggested that you should talk face to face. So I went on to, Graz's channel, and we started off really shaky, but then by the time it was over, we all got along. Like we got along and communicated with emails since then, and seems to be going pretty well and everything. So hopefully, just keep that going. I'd like to get to a point where there's no more trolls in the background. It's weird shit. All right. So that's it, Susan. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Break out your umbrella, huh? Yep. Yeah, you should. I don't know. You should probably go watch that episode. I thought that was off. Wasn't there anymore though. No, that's right. The comments are turned off. Yeah, because a lot of people were trashing me. Still, the people that just can't get over it. They just. Yeah, it's definitely hard to. Dry humor in text form is very difficult. Yeah. I was actually thinking at the time, like, that doesn't even seem like Jay. Did a troll take over Jay's account? And then I think he started noticing the negative feedback that people weren't getting the joke. So then he said, I'm just kidding, man, you guys, like that. That's how it went, right, Jay? Right on the money, right? Like you thought people were going to get it, but nobody was getting it because it's not detectable in text. And then you had to realize it, and then you said that you're joking around. Yeah. I've learnt the hard way that sarcasm does not translate well in text. Yes. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, it was hard though, Jay, because I said, first of all, you start off, women are needy and it never changes. And I said, you don't mean it that way. And he said, yes. And then you go, I'm married, so I know. Then I was like, okay, this this isn't sounding like him. And then nobody was still getting it, and then okay. I guess we're gonna have to avoid that type of humor now because it'll be taken the wrong way.
Did you hear what Gray defended on his channel? This guy said women are needy. See what I'm saying? Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Gray defended Jay Case for saying that. Yeah, did you hear that, everybody? I can't wait to do the Curly Mo shuffle. All right, you guys. Well, anyways, thanks for the complete derailment of the last segment of the show. Absolutely awesome. And thank you, Jay, at the end. And appreciate that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Just going to do the wrap at the end. I got to get going here. So thank you guys very much. We will see you guys tomorrow. And as I always, it's going to be Christmas Eve, too. We'll turn on the Christmas music. We'll get maybe even have the tree behind me or something. Yeah. All right, you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Oh, and everybody put out their prayers for Jen H. and Steph May. We got to get them through their times right now. So if we can do the quick prayer hands again. Where are those? There, I got them. Bing, 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 bing. Right there. So thank you guys. Yeah, everybody, just God, aren't you guys just getting sick of this shit? I want people to all feel healthy. I remember when my brother had his tongue cancer and then they had to cut the hole in his throat and he was just really panicky and stuff. Like, man, all I wanted for him was to feel good another time. And now he's back to normal. You know, it's crazy. He talks normally. Everything's perfect, you know. So I want the same things for all of you guys. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2 and a 3.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing
Merry
for quite a
Christmas.
while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one
Hey,
person.
thanks, Gray. Merry Christmas to you
That is
too,
a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. And I'm neither than a spectre with a vector on his tractor. With all respect, John, just remember I've a temper fucking jack. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, thanks. Hey, Merry Christmas to all of you who aren't here tomorrow, okay? Gee.
What was the G for at the end there?
I don't know, I just like saying it.
Oh, God. What a... I won't say it.
What we gonna say, Gray?
You know what's funny? You know those guys that have the ventriloquist with the little guy on his arm or something? I see what they're doing there. It's just... it's crazy. They just have a little character sitting there. But, all right, you guys. Thank you very much. Be safe out there. Merry Christmas. Even you, Susan. Have a good Christmas out there.